got to get his shit all going over here.
Well, get up to pee. It's a shout out. If I get cold, I'm smart.
Not a boy.
He comes in here with his shrine.
The Kansas tea guy.
They just have like a permanent section over here where it's just got all this shit Jaden brings to the studio. It's always here. It's like his own little like corner.
Should have like backup teas on deck.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how we've done all these and we've never once like come in.
He's done it.
Matchy?
Have we done?
Oh,
matchy
like-
matchy? Yeah, like between the mix of us, we've always had different ones.
We've always had different ones, but he's done the thing where he would leave
No, I know that.
and change shirts.
Yeah, you got something like right here on the inside of your right eye.
Yeah.
Probably ash. Yeah, I was
was
blessed by
ash.
the
Yeah.
Lord.
Blessed by the Lord.
I may have a Simpson shirt in my bag
Okay.
downstairs.
Oh shit. Okay, dude.
Well, shit. Seems like I just saw you guys.
You fucking did just see us for.
We're all as tired as I was this week.
Yeah, we were speaking about that earlier. I'm still not right completely. I've yet to get a full night's sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working 2 jobs. I've been still on recovery mode. Like I haven't slept, I don't know, a good night's sleep since last fucking the week before, like probably Monday night.
Yeah.
It's been a minute for sure.
Well, it's like I was telling you when you got here. So last night I did a Patreon podcast with FXR Mike, 3.5 hours. Really good fucking conversation about a lot of different shit. This mic wasn't on. So it was that mic over there and his mic was on, and then there was an echo. Like it was like reverbing through the microphone thing, and so the audio was just fucked. And I'm like, God damn it, dude. Because we were here till like 1 o'clock last night. We didn't really get fucked up. We had a couple beers and shit like that, but we weren't like drunk or anything. And I came in this morning to go upload it, and it was just, I was like, my soul dropped. I was like, God
You
damn.
verify it's on now?
Yeah, everything should be good. Usually they'll say some shit on there if the audio sounds like ass, but you know.
How do I sound, Trey? Do I sound good?
You sound great.
Testing, testing.
Oh yeah, we got torqued
Audio
up Trey
right.
here in the studio on the
Come on, boy.
on the cameras today. He doesn't have a camera, but you know he's got to earn.
He looks just as great as he always does. You should see him.
I appreciate it, guys.
Wearing his
Yeah.
FLC5 campout shirt.
Got to, baby. Got to represent.
You talking to me in your sexy voice over there?
Yeah, this is radio
It's
voice.
my radio voice.
You're on with DJ Torque right now.
Getting torqued up.
Time to get torqued up, baby.
For sure. He never once has a spike in his voice. It's always
Even tone.
We're
Yeah.
real chill, baby.
Welcome to
Dulcet tones.
Motorcycles After
Welcome to
Dark.
the Fast Life podcast, baby.
I smell a new
Well-
intro.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. Leading into the camp out, weather scares. Just like anytime you host an event, when you have an outdoor event, when you have that much kind of weather unpredictability going on, that always kind of puts you on edge of like, man, is it gonna kill the vibe? Are people not gonna come because they're scared to ride in the rain? Like, what's it gonna do? And man, the couldn't have asked for a better situation. I mean, I feel like if we do ask for a better situation, we're going to get a worse one next year because it worked out well. A lot of people got rained on. We got rained on riding in, but once you got there, once you earned it, basically, it was fucking a beautiful weekend. So
I don't think we've had a better weather weekend with the exception of the ride-in ever.
Yeah.
So we talked about those 2 weeks that we added this year, and that I think probably played a big impact or a big part in that because it wasn't cold, it wasn't hot, it was just right. There's a couple, 2 of the 3 days, I don't think there was a cloud in the sky. Like, it was just really, really nice. And for a lot of those cats that are coming from all over the place, like, that's what the South brings in the spring. Like,
Yeah,
it can be very volatile, but when you get some of those nice days, tough to beat.
Yeah.
Really tough
Dude,
to
I
beat.
couldn't get out of my fucking chair on Friday. It felt so good outside. It was like the perfect temperature. It wasn't like beaming sun, so you wasn't like sweating.
Right.
There wasn't like mosquitoes everywhere. It was just like the perfect weather. My only regret from this whole camp out is the lack of content that I captured with photos, with videos, all that shit. Like, I just dropped the ball this year on that shit. I didn't move, like I said, Friday. I stuck in that chair damn near all day trying to sell T-shirts and do all that shit. So
I think that was pretty consistent. I don't know how many people I've seen essentially say the same thing. I had so much fun that I didn't do this. I had so much fun that I didn't do that.
yeah.
And I'm not by any means saying that you need to come for content, because that's not what it's about.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that that's a big aspect of how a lot of folks connect and really the internet connectivity that we all have. But I love hearing that. I love hearing that you had so much fun that you weren't even thinking about,
Yeah.
you know, putting stuff online, or it was really great to see.
Yeah. There's plenty of narcotics there, wasn't there?
That's how we made it through the weekend, for fuck's sake.
God damn, dude, that was a good time. Trey got a little torqued up at that one night on that shit.
Oh, man.
Hey.
Friday night was
Hey.
great. Friday night was great. Saturday night was great until the pepper stuff.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to that.
We'll talk about that.
So Thursday, it was kind of, we got there. We had a good little pour. Fortunately, most of us were all set up, with our camp, so we were able to kind of just, jump in the tents and whatnot while it was raining. But after that, cleaned up pretty nice on Thursday. Fire got kicked off. It was a pretty chill day.
Like 4:30, you think rain was done, right?
Yeah, it was done. About
sure.
5, 6, it was dry.
We rolled in about 1, and it flirted with raining off and on, and then it was 2 or 3 hours. We were well set up, and then it just dumped for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it was done.
Yeah, it
And
was over.
Amazing weather the rest of the entire
Yep.
weekend.
And like I said, Thursday was kind of like just people pouring in, everybody getting there, waiting on all the St. Louis and the Club Style Illinois and Club Style Indiana, those guys coming through. And, Forever Rad, they did a big ride where they left St. Louis and rode in. Justin and those guys smashed in the rain to get there. I'm not sure when Hang 'em High left, him and Robbie and those guys, because they came Thursday still, though, right?
Yeah, I think they came in Thursday, like after work type thing. But I love Thursday. Thursday is arguably my favorite day. Actually,
Yeah.
It is my favorite day. It's not even, I don't even think there's an argument, because of the excitement, the anticipation leading up to it, all the hype, and then just, I don't know what it is. I love just seeing dudes just roll in.
Yeah.
It's super fun.
So 2 people that did a cheat code, Rennie and Justin from San Antonio, came in on
That is
Wednesday.
a that's cheating.
Maybe even on Tuesday, and
Yeah.
they had a couple days at the camp out where it was still empty. And then they rode in perfect weather earlier in the week. So if
Well,
you've
we-
got that and you're making it a big trip, don't feel like you have to get there on Thursday if it
Even,
works out. Show up
like,
early.
I know we're kind of jumping ahead here, but like when we did the pre-party, that was a good event.
Dude, the stuff in town, and that's why I say, like, I don't think I've got a full sleep since almost 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
now, because, like, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
camp out week,
Sunday.
baby.
It was a
Bro,
true camp out week, yeah.
For sure. And we had scares of weather and shit in town too, but it was great fun. And, like, it went just as hard in town as it did when we got in the woods.
Yeah.
And I had a really great time, and I know that there were some people are only able to make to the stuff in the city. Some
Yeah.
people were only able to make the stuff in camp. And that's why we do both. That's why we're presenting more options, just for people to
be connected,
to
yeah.
be connected, and to not feel like, you know what, I can't make it to this whole thing, but you're able to get kind of a taste in a sense. And
Yeah.
I dig that for sure, because if it's that taste that kind of wets your whistle and makes you excited to get into the next one, then so be it. Everybody starts somewhere.
Well, I mean, not even talking about bike night, but just the pre-party itself, like having Joey and his brother, Borrelia, those guys come in. Didn't PNN came in there too at the same time? So
Yeah, he rode in with them, and their buddy, I think his name was Sam, but
he leaned in on the camp
that
out.
dude was wild.
Hell yeah.
He was trying to make a damn T-shirt next
I
year
fuck
for
with
sure.
that.
I don't think you'll ever hear this too. Apparently, he's not on social media. He stays away from computers, and
Oh shit!
I dig him though. Like
he
he
fucked.
had the energy. He had the energy to just be about it. And they, the Borrelia brothers basically just said, like, you should come, and you're a homie. So he came with, and as far as I know, he had a wonderful time. And that started at the pre-party. Goddamn Ben's ass came in.
Yep.
It's from
He rode-
Australia.
Yeah.
He was just there for a day. Rode all the way from, I think, Colorado. Yeah. He went from Colorado to Phoenix, Phoenix to town.
Yeah, in
and then
2
he
days.
flew his ass to fucking London.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's crazy. But just to be a part of even an element of it, like I
Yeah.
said, that's why we try to have those different forums for people to do what they can.
And yeah, I feel like a lot of people wanted to, like, I had a lot of people asking questions about our bike night, how we do it, you know, and that stuff. Like, I feel like a lot of people want to create some type of, I hate to use the word scene where they're from, but like, get something going. Like, I know that we got lucky being a big, large metroplex between Dallas and Fort Worth that we had enough people to kind of bring together to do something. But I think that's what a lot of people like are probably drawn to us as a group of friends in the camp out, is how we were able to turn, you know, a weekly bike night into a yearly camp out that, you know, has brought in people from all over the country and things like that. Not so much that everybody wants to do what we're doing, but they want to have what we talk about at their home base, basically.
Absolutely.
You
Why
know?
wouldn't you? If you're not from here and you're outside looking in, right? Who wouldn't want the connectivity of like-minded people in their own city or in their own region?
Yeah.
That's something that I think a lot of these folks long for. I know I did before I got it, right? I know a lot of us did before we had it. And once you find it, that's why we hold on to it so dearly, because of what it means to us all and how valuable it is to us all. And that's why we feel like we can't replace it in town. And when we go, you know, travel the country and we do those things, it's kind of like spreading the positivity and the vibe that we all give off and we all give each other, because that's...
I thought you were going to say gospel.
Yeah.
Spreading the gospel.
I almost did say the gospel.
Hey, it fits.
But it to us, like, it kind of is our church in a lot of ways. It really fills our souls.
Yeah. Oh, that was cute. Well, this year's camp out, we, like I said, we added a pre-party. We added a second day on the stage, having giveaways. And I feel like we were clunky a little bit on Friday with the giveaways and all the shit, but I think we tried a couple things. We figured out, you know, we adjusted Saturday, and Saturday was perfect. Saturday was a perfect day of all that shit. I know that I'm jumping way ahead there, so we can bounce around with this, but you know, the things that were really different about the camp out this year that we hadn't had prior was obviously a full plate of giveaways. Simpson gave away 6 helmets. Lexin gave away 6 headsets and like 6 fucking
pumps.
Air pumps, and people did some stupid shit for a fucking air pump. I was like,
And they loved every minute of
I
it.
got my air pump today. It's probably worth it. It's pretty
Yeah.
sick. I can't wait to use it.
I don't know. I think that's one of those things. Like, I would do some weird shit too. You know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
dickheads laid out for a second, so it sounded like a shameless plug. It was a sincere comment, damn it.
Lexin's been getting a lot of love lately on the podcast because of these damn air pumps.
rightfully so.
This whole thing?
Rightfully so.
But yeah, so they, you know, a lot of the brands, I really had hoped to get, you know, and thundermax even came in pretty heavy with it too. And just like, I think that as those people participate, they see what we mean by, hey, look, like this can be very, very good for your brand.
Yeah.
To be here representing it, whether you're doing giveaways or making trophies for this little mixture that we threw together, or just out there mingling amongst all the people that are technically your customer base that you want to, you know, connect with. Because if you think about it, in my opinion, a lot of the people that do come to our camp out are the kind of people that will go back to where they're from and kind of, for lack of a better term, spread the gospel a little bit and say, hey, man, I had a blast at this. And they come back next year with more people, or they set something up in their town, whether it's some kind of bike night or hangout or something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's the majority of the type of person that comes to our camp out from afar. You know what I mean?
Just like in Arkansas, it went from, Tony and Justin to just look how many,
Yeah.
friends of friends of friends. Like Evan had brought his own crew.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
He's kind of part of Tony's. It's just, but what you just said, that's happened with so many people that came a year ago, 2 years ago, had a blast, and have continued. And I think this year hit an all-time watermark on people that either had the best time of their fucking life and said, I will always be back, stumbled into it. I think you had the thing where somebody just tagged along and said, I'll never miss it.
Yeah.
Artie's brother had a great time. I think everybody had such a good time that it's man. I think.
Yeah, FXR Mike last night on the podcast and whatever here, he was like, man, you know, and he said that of all the events I've been to, that was probably the most fun camping motorcycle experience ever. You know, he's like, it's up there with Giddy Up or better. And I was like, fuck, thank you, man. I appreciate that, you know, because
it's a high compliment.
yeah, I mean, that was always my goal of, you know, Giddy Up was that thing that changed me and love and made me fall in love with moto camping. And so trying to emulate that in a sense, but also do it like in our own way, if you will, which we have, you know, like that's kind of what I was hoping to get. I mean, it's much different than Giddy Up. Giddy Up's a whole fucking vibe, but you know, in a sense, I feel like everybody that came out there and participated, that came to the fire, that went on the rides. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better time to ride Talamina either. It wasn't all washed out shit all over the road and say, you know what I mean? So,
and at this point, Campout is a whole fucking vibe.
Yeah.
It literally is. There's depending upon like which aspect of it speaks the most to you, it is a vibe. And I think everybody there was able to put themselves in the right headspace. There's so much that I like seeing the positivity in a lot of things, right? And I liked seeing that folks were also kind of showing that positivity to people that made the effort to come, because that's just, to me, that's what it's all about. Kind of perpetuate goodness and see where it takes you, and it's just healthy, dude. It's a healthy thing. It's healthy to have some love in your heart. It's great to be able to spread some of the joys that we get out of this, and fuck, everybody's having a rad time doing it.
yeah.
You can't really ask for much more than that.
RPM comes out. They got a whole little
Yeah, look, that was another perfect example of just
leaning into
RPM City over there. They had their own area, and how many dudes did they roll in with?
Yeah.
Super impressive, man.
Quite a
Awesome.
bit, dude. Quite a bit.
It's dope.
Yeah.
It was dope.
Joe comes in from out of town, heavy hitting with the Idaho boys. You know,
I wish y'all could have been there where I stay at, where I live at.
Yeah.
And everyone was being there. Dude.
At the firehouse?
It
It
was
was a good time.
experience, man. Like all these rad bikes in the garage filled up. Everyone's just chilling, having a good time. We have a little fire pit going. Everyone's drinking, having a little bit of beer, just telling stories, getting to know each other. Man, that was
how was did Joe hit you with some like great stories while you were in there? 'Cause
you know.
he could tell us. He could tell you
yeah.
about going to the store and buying toilet paper. You're like, dude, tell me again. That was rad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
He's like, "Where's your FXR?" And I was like, "It's not here, Joe. You're not getting this one, Joe. It's not here." No, man, but it was a great experience, and I would love to have, if you're listening, any of these guys back again, man. It was just great.
absolutely.
It was awesome. You know, you get to stay in Dallas, your bike's locked up, you don't have to worry about,
Yeah,
unfortunately, stuff getting stolen. You know what I mean? So
yeah. We
it was
got
cool.
to.
Hey, we got two guys in here that know what's up, but yeah.
3 technically.
Yeah, Donnie knows what's up. The firehouse is the spot. It is.
Yeah.
It really is, guys. So
No, it's awesome. But yeah, I love how Dallas opened up hospitality. I mean, you had Donnie in there. You had fucking the Colorado dudes. You had Joe and all those guys at the firehouse, basically.
we had like 14 dudes there.
Yeah.
And everyone had a bed or a couch.
It's just like an active firehouse again.
Yeah. It was pretty cool, man. It was cool to see all these bikes in there. So
Hell
I
yeah.
loved it. I enjoyed it.
That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the campout was a success, 100%. The campground, dude, that pavilion, that shit was. I mean,
That
we didn't
pavilion
even
fun.
use it, but it's like I'm glad it's there.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I was really
really
stunned.
nice space.
Because this was my first camp out. So
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'd done everything else, but to pull up and I was like, oh man, this is legit. I was
Very
like,
nice.
okay. I was like, this is dope. I liked it.
Turn it into a damn event venue out
Yeah.
here. You're going to catch a couple weddings out there before you know it.
Right?
For sure.
And you get too big for us.
Yeah.
He's gonna get like a wall with some wings on it for chicks to come take pictures on.
It's already in the works. It's happening.
I don't know. At one point, he said, "So do what you want to do. If you fuck it up, we'll fix it." So
Yeah.
it really is. I've taken my shots at it before, but you can't ask for a better host or a better place for
Yeah.
it. It just truly
Sandoval
is
provides.
the shit of the shit.
He's a great partner for us, and in the same way that he is for us, that we were speaking about the other brands as well. It's just, I think the common denominator between all of them is they're they're ambassadors for motorcycling. They want to see it grow. They want to see it continue, just like all of us. So if we can help perpetuate that and move it forward and kind of the thing I'd say a lot is kind of pass that torch. I love it. I really do. So if Adam does his part, we do our part, the brands help do their part. That's why this whole thing keeps moving. And that's why an event like this
could you imagine if it got
grows.
so big and so successful that there became multiple places in that region? This is way down the line if ever happening, but I mean, that's how a Sturgis starts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Something
small turns into something big, and then it just becomes a thing. But I don't think it'll ever get that place. I don't know if I would really want it to go that far. But
no.
I liked where we all camped this year. I felt like it was a good spot to be close to shit. Not being in, like, if it did rain, we weren't in a lake.
In the floodplain?
Yeah. Honestly, I couldn't have. There's nothing I would change, other than I wish I would have got more photos and content. Just I like last year's content that we got when we did that little photo shoot thing, and then all the wheelies out front and all that shit. Like, it gave us so much shit to continue to post throughout the year to keep the fire alive and everybody about it happening. And I just didn't get that content, and bummed about it, but it is what it is.
So the one silver, I got literally one picture Friday night. I think I had to shit so bad. Somebody finally talked me into doing it. So I went to the bathroom at like 4:30 in the morning, and for our group chat, I took a picture of like my feet. I was gonna, I don't know, it wouldn't go through. It didn't go to the group chat. But that was literally the one picture I took the entire time. And as much as I regret it, and once the reels and the post started flowing in, I had a little bit of FOMO of, I wish I would have gotten my own take on this and everything. I'm so proud of everybody that did it, and it was almost like I was proud that I didn't have to. All of a sudden, I was like, it's okay, dude. This is in good hands. Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's the people that actually were here and enjoying it. I didn't feel like I needed to do it.
Yeah.
And they did such a good job. And
I agree.
Yeah.
I liked Millhouse's. He had I was talking to him earlier. His song was perfect. And Travis, Sketchy Glad, had a couple. He did a couple reels, and he had a good couple songs on there too. It's like the song is almost as important as the actual content to make it like a whole vibe and shit.
Man, I know I'm forgetting. Evan had at least one or two.
Oh yeah.
Wheelo,
Really like
Scott's really
Scott's,
good at it. And
Robbie
I know
had
there's
a couple things.
Robbie for sure, and I know there's one or two other ones that I was like, who is this? Like, and that had a couple bangers. So yeah, I couldn't have been happier just seeing the stuff roll in where I was like, okay, you guys got this.
Yeah.
Good hands. It's in good hands. As far as the passing the torch kind of thing.
The content. And I agree, because quite frankly, the majority of the time was spent for us, like, making sure the event was going smoothly and kind of going off without a hitch, working the event. So a lot of times we were on the other end of a camera or whatever, but it is pretty nice to be able to make that transition in a way that you're able to work through those growing pains and allow yourself to really work the event as we are, because this thing is growing year over year quite rapidly, probably multiple hundreds of % growth each year over year.
I got numbers.
Exponentially.
So did I tell you the numbers that they gave me?
Yeah, over 600 campsites, and I think it was over 1,000 verified.
They said
that range
that they say there was over 1,000 people staying there. I don't know how they could calculate that, but obviously not at the same time, because some people burnt out Saturday because of Mother's Day, or the long ride to get back home so they could be at work Monday, right? But they said they had over 1,000 people, roughly, maybe 800. I think 800 is a fair thing to say.
But even if it's in that ballpark, you know what I'm saying? That is year over year growth.
Yeah.
Is really, it's exciting. It's exciting, and the way that we spoke about it afterwards is, anybody who came this year, they were witness to essentially the first one that you could pretty much say was post-COVID, and it showed the growth that we would have expected going into 3 and 4, and I fully expect that to continue. So to me,
Yeah.
this one, the fifth one, was officially kind of like the level up. This has leveled up from the early versions. It is growing into essentially what was displayed this year.
Yeah, yeah. And I have plenty of ideas of what I like to do. Not I really don't. I think fine adjustments and fine tuning and like I want to lean more into ways to get people back to the center of the campground every night somehow. Because I originally were going to do a giveaway on Thursday night as well, but it was just kind of like everybody was just beat from rolling in the rain. They just wanted to get there and get some drinks in them and start saying hey and hi to everybody. You know what I mean?
Shit, Thursday night I went to bed at 4:30. Friday night I went to bed at 5.
Yeah.
And because we had Mother's Day on Sunday, Saturday I twisted my arm to go to bed at like 1. Like that was my, I'm going to take it easy tonight. And that was, an act of willpower because I was feeling good. Like I'd rallied. And so, yeah, it was a wild weekend. It's
Very wild.
late nights every night.
Well, like I said, before what else? Trey, how was it for your first camp out?
Yeah, I
man?
would love to hear that.
Oh
Trey.
man, to be honest, it was everything I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Just kind of hearing stories and already done Daytona and Sturgis and kind of been to other things, events and stuff. Just riding in and feeling welcome and like, hey, Trey's here, we're gonna party now.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, this is cool, man. Like the campsite was beautiful. Our little camper that we had was awesome. I didn't bring a tent.
Didn't you and Doc let a ride? Did you go on the ride with Doc? A
little bit. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
How was Talamina?
Pretty good. I mean, we only hit just a little bit of it, and then I realized it was about to be a 4-hour ride.
Was that the one you turned around on?
Yeah. I pulled up, and I was there for like 30 minutes. Like, hey, Trey's here, and I'm like, sweet man, this is dope. But I got off that morning, loaded up the bike and took off. And they're like, hey, we're going on this ride. I was like, cool. I was like, where are we going? They're like, oh, it's just up the road. And I was like, sweet. And I was like, this isn't up the road, man. This is a while. So I was like, hey, Josh, this is cool, but I want to go hang out and see everyone for a little bit. So it was cool.
He left and I knew they were going on a long one and he showed up like an hour later. I was like, is everything okay? He goes, yeah.
It is now.
Would you make it to the gas station and turn around?
No, we made it to the sign of the Talamina.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So what is that?
Took-
Talahina?
Yeah. Took a couple pictures, got a little bit of gas, just had
Yeah,
a little
where
snacks
you
and
kind
stuff
of
like
go
that.
up the hill, you get a couple really nice switchbacks.
Yeah.
And then it's like, turn in right there. And then it's like,
yeah. It was cool.
it's once you get on there, it's kind of a commitment. Like,
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
you're pretty much either
Even if
doing
you
half
only do
or
half.
whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't. I didn't have any breakfast in me, nothing. I was like, oh man, I kind of made a mistake. But hey, you know what? It was beautiful and it was worth it. So
Yeah.
Well, good on you for knowing that, like, because personally, I do feel like you have to be in the right headspace to ride that road, especially if you're going to ride it aggressively. You can't be halfway.
Exactly.
You got to really be more committed than some roads that you would just tool around on.
To be honest, I'm on my brand new bike.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to wreck
I feel that
anytime soon or mess it up in any way. So I'm still kind of learning it and trying to get used to it. So yeah, it was cool, but I wasn't ready in the.
I was
that
worried.
sense.
Fortunately, I got lucky and I was in front when we left. I was like, thank God I'm in front.
You didn't get no
I
chips.
didn't get no chips.
It's good on you.
Yeah, and then even once we went and did the whole curve thing, we did the same thing we did last year. We went to the top, we did the wheelies, or Zach and Sketchy did wheelies up there, some burnouts. Even King Tony did a couple little burnouts.
Yeet.
It's like I didn't know you could do that still.
Come on, man.
and then we jumped down, did half of it, and then dropped down to the other little mountain. And then we hit the curves. And
There's an invoice in the mail on those too.
for the wheelies?
Yeah, just joking, Tony.
I wouldn't doubt it. And then, same route we did last year, and then that long road back. And it seems like that road back just gets longer and longer and more boring. And leading it this time through there, I was happy because I wasn't getting rock chips. But the other thing that I was like, I hate this fucking road. I don't think I want to go down anymore. Is because it has like little dip hills.
Got a bunch of little dip hills, a bunch of little like blind hills like that.
So and it doesn't have like arrows pointing anything like which way to turn. So if you hit it too fast, you could be coming into like a quick one, right? Or a car or some shit like that. So it's like because on my Road Glide, like I have the map up, so I'm seeing it's a curve. but like I don't know what kind of curve it is because they don't have arrows or like speed recommendations into the curves and shit like that. So you're just kind of blindly.
I dig the road. It not at speed. Like to be able to just kind of roll with it. It's a fun road to just kind of roll with.
Yeah.
But at speed in the front of a big pack,
Yeah.
that's tough.
Yeah,
That's
tough.
It's a lot of pressure.
You're staring like you're about to say something.
No, I'm just looking at you.
Don't be awkward, Trey.
You're so handsome. Can't help it, guys. No, we're doing great. No, yeah, the scenery was beautiful. I was just
Yeah.
kind of taken away, just like, man, this is really green. The
It
river
is.
was awesome, you know.
Yeah, fucking river was
That was
moving,
kind of like
dude.
my first time out there and stuff, and going through Paris, Texas and stuff. So I took 30 and then split
Yeah,
off
jumped
and went
up.
Yeah, and I thought that was a cool little route that I haven't done or explored Texas and Oklahoma.
That whole border of Oklahoma and Texas area is beautiful, all with a broken
yeah.
bow and back.
Yeah.
It's super nice. Even in Paris, when me and Britta drove there to go do a little deal with Big Will Cody and his wife, we drove that, and I was like, I want to fucking ride this road. It was like go straight to like from Paris to like where Broken Bow is. I don't know what all towns it goes to, but it's like nice big sweepers and nice like farm. Like it's got the kind of scenery that you want to see. You know what I'm
That
saying?
whole
I was-
national forest, man.
Yeah, I
it's
was
really
completely
pretty up there.
Unaware of like Paris and all that, and I was like, oh, I've seen pictures. I just didn't know that town square was like this because
Yeah.
I rode.
Oh,
through
through
the town.
Paris?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I rode through the town square just to
It's pretty dope down there.
just see it.
Yeah.
It only took me an extra 5 minutes.
Did you go to the little tower deal?
Yeah,
No,
did you get the
I
Eiffel
didn't.
Tower
I
picture?
wanted to, and I was like, really? I was like, I could go up here anytime.
You know what? With you being a veteran, no bullshit, there's actually a very, very cool, like, war veterans. It's kind of extensive. There's a real cool memorial there.
Okay.
Like, walk through, and yeah. But it's a cool thing. If you
I'll
ever,
have to check
next
it
time you
out.
go up there, take the
Yeah,
time to do it.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I guess dates for 2023 are, let me pull this up. I told you, right?
Yeah.
So basically, we're looking at the 25th through the 28th of April. So pretty much it's pretty much the same weekend we're doing now. It's just right before.
1 week before, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And like I said, I was trying to avoid Mother's Day just because I don't want to hear everybody complaining again and
For sure.
and whatnot. And there was actually we could have done May.
James, how many weeks in the year are there?
52.
52?
Yeah.
You got 51 weeks a year to make sure your mom knows you love her. You can front load that, back load it, do it another time. Don't let that's dumb. Like I get it if you needed to burn out, so did we. I'm not even mad at you if you leave on Saturday. But if you said, oh, well, that's the same weekend, I'm not, fuck off. I don't want to know you. Like, that's dumb.
I don't disagree. But yeah, that we wanted to get the dates figured out so people can buy cabins and shit. And also one thing that I was talking with Cheryl and them that kind of run the thing, and we have been saying this forever and it's on us, but yes, you can just show up and pay for camping. You can, but they do appreciate it if you call ahead and book a campsite. That way they're not doing 500 people on site, like
All at once.
signups, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the other thing that will be also taking place next year is wristbands. It's happening. We don't have a lot of details, but it's happening. So basically the way it's going to end up pulling out is on January, I'm going to release the shirt and the ability to pre-order a shirt with the wristband. And that'll be pre-sale. It'll be a certain price. And then they'll be at the campsite price. And we're going to go with that now.
We'll go with that now.
Yeah. So 5 years, been busting ass. This was a lot of work this year.
A lot.
We want to continue to grow this camp out and make it fun and unique and different and bring people in and keep kind of finding ways to keep it as big as it can be, but still feel as intimate as it can be. And yeah, I mean,
I think we've done a really good job at that too.
Yeah.
I really do. I don't feel by any means that even though this has been growing in size and number of people coming, I think people are still, whether it's your first one, your fifth one, whatever it is, people are still getting that type of experience. And people are traveling from all kinds of distances, and it's awesome because that's really what this started as, is riding in to a campground, sleeping in the dirt, and enjoying all aspects of that. So that's not going to be lost.
We got a correction because Craig did say something. I scrolled up to 2024, so the dates are the 27th through the 30th. My bad. Sorry.
Thank you, Craig.
Yeah, thanks, Craig.
See, he fixed the Mother's Day problem too.
I don't know where I was left. Oh, just to speak about the campsite pre-booking stuff too. I think also, so K River now has some online capabilities that they never had before as well.
Yeah.
Like they talk about, or we speak about how they're growing, and that's one of the elements that they've grown as well. So it does alleviate some of the log jam at the door when you show up, that type of thing, especially if you show up in a giant group, right? If you're already pre-booked and you're able to have that confirmation, it's not some crazy elaborate site that they have, but it works, and it allows you to prepay and to just get your deal ahead of time.
Yeah,
so that does help for that.
I mean,
their staff too.
The way it's going to probably work is we're going to have someone at the not the very front, but once you come into the campground, for those who've been there, once you come in and it splits off where you can like go towards the clubhouse or go towards the campsite areas, there will be a tent there. There will be people checking wristbands. There will be people there selling wristbands for people coming in, and you will still have to go. Obviously, it's camping, and the wristband will be a deal. So the wristband's probably going to be $20-$25, probably 20 on like a pre-sale, and then 25 at the site kind of situation. But we plan to have the shirts and all this stuff ready to pre-order come January, and then we'll probably do pre-orders all the way up until maybe March, and then stop pre-orders there, order all the shirts that was people already paid for, plus get the ones that are going to be there available at the campground. And then, like I said, trying to take this in a little bit more professional route. We got a lot of, since we don't really do sponsors there, like even though we do have people that want to sponsor the camp out, finding a way to bring brands in and also finding a way to allocate, like, what do we do with this money? How do we put this into this to make this better, right?
That's something I want to touch on, the camp out. If this was your first one, you've never been there, then you wouldn't understand the pavilion upgrade. But, yeah, this is the thing. If you've been coming, then you've consistently seen the upgrades, not just the pavilion, but the tons of things they've done overall. The website, just another example of how – nobody's retiring off this. You're not. This isn't a city in California where you're paying their parks department or a permit or whatever. There, this is. I mean, this fuels that campground and it keeps it going. And dude, I'll be damned if they don't fucking put the money back into it.
Yeah.
And you reap the benefits of paying your dues and coming and enjoying the good time. And every dollar you spend there, I promise you, man, they do it right.
Yeah. And so it's the same thing we want to do. I mean, we want to make sure, I mean, what we have been doing, the money that we have made over the last, this being the second year that we've made some money, we've just reinvested it back into us and our bike trips that we take, right? Last year, the campground cut us a check for $2,000, and we took that money and we blew it on beer in Nashville. So pretty much. We didn't blow $2,000. We used it to, because every year for most of you guys that follow the podcast and all of us homies out, we do a big trip, and it's usually in June every year. And so we just basically took that money and applied it to our trip to help out with some of the hotels, Airbnbs, and gas. I mean, not gas, and like beer and the expensive places that we drink. So in the same sense, like, it isn't like we took that money and like said, hey, look, I'm gonna go buy me some carbon fiber bags for my bike. You know what I'm saying?
No, it breaks down like $150 a dude on the big trip, and it gets you this year. Honestly, it'll probably get you towards gas with the prices what they are. Us going where we're going.
Yeah,
it's like that. So don't get it twisted on that. It's very minimum that as far as actually we see the benefit of it, and every bit of it goes back into the campground and the camp out.
Yeah.
I mean, the shirts aren't cheap. You're going to have those shirts forever. And the stickers and everything else. I mean.
And that's the plan, is to kind of have more of that type of stuff, be more prepared to have more of the type of shirts the first year we did shirts, I had smalls, medium, and larges left over for a long time, and I couldn't keep 3Xs and 2Xs in stock. Now I still have 2Xs and 3Xs, and we sold out of mediums and larges and extra larges like that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I mean, it's one of those weird things. Like, you don't want to gamble with like having, like, I only had 30 extra shirts. That's good out of 280. That's really good.
When you do the pre-sale, maybe you do a T-shirt.
That's what we're gonna do. No, so that's what the way I want to do it is when we end up doing this, we'll have all this shit figured out. You know, so this is kind of a rough draft idea, but basically you're gonna have the option to essentially go in and buy a T-shirt wristband combo for this price, right? And so it's a pre-order of the shirt. Then we'll order the shirts, get them in, get them all shipped to the people. I don't give a fuck if you show up or not at this point. You know, I don't even care. Like, if you buy a wristband and a T-shirt and you don't make it, hey man, thanks for supporting the camp out. Basically, is what's going to be. Yeah. You know what I mean? The whole vibe of like, hey, I got this here is a dope thing that I really love. Mm-hmm. But the camp out's growing past like this very, very. I mean, I hate to say this because I don't think it is, but it's not as intimate and small as it used to be. It's a different thing, but we're still trying to keep intimate and small qualities to this event.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You're going to have the elements that the whole foundation was built upon. And we're going to keep some of those elements, and we're going to also try and maintain kind of the integrity that we've had throughout the growth, because it's what we love and it's what clearly everyone that keeps coming loves. And you know, we still don't want the vendors. We still don't want to have all the stuff that you would see at a quote-unquote typical rally, right? But we want to be able to continue to provide and inject back into camp the way that we have been. Yeah. And basically, I guess at the end of the day, you know, we've been coming out of pocket to do so. Oh, yeah. And a lot of that has been, you know, for a ton of like freebies for everybody that's coming, and that's awesome, but that's unsustainable. Yeah. Right? So as much as I want to give everything I got, I only got so much, and that can be said about everybody around here. And that
how much did you drop on champagne?
Too
and
much.
mimosas?
I don't even need to talk about it. But at the end of the day, like there is a line, and we've reached it, and so then it's just how do we approach this moving forward. So it's still going to be the same vibe. It's still going to be the same event, just with some tweaks. You know, Mike was saying something last night that was really, like I said, now I got to tell everybody what he said because we'll never hear it. But he was talking about how like I never got to go to this part of the Giddy Up, but he said when Giddy Up first started, all the people that put on Giddy Up, they were camping at that campsite that we camped at. Sure. He said the first time I went to Giddy Up, I camped next to Oliver Peck. Like, I'm sleeping in a tent next to this dude, right? Yeah. And then by the time Giddy Up I went to 3, 4, 5. So there were 5 total, right? I think there was 5 total. So I went to the last 3, and so by that time, those people that started that Giddy Up event and campground, they weren't camping there. They were like staying somewhere else totally, and the campground was a whole like whoever else. So it's like, I was like, man, really? Because like I couldn't imagine like hosting an event. I mean, even though Giddy Up's a show and not so much of a camp out, I couldn't imagine hosting this. But then like us going us core group of dudes that started the camp out go like somewhere that nobody else could be a part of. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that one bit. One bit. That. Yeah. So it'll never be the case, quite frankly, because cabins are gone. Damn. Cabins are. I'm not surprised.
Shit, I was just about to say, it sounds like we got the first cabin booked. But
I'm not surprised. Y'all be bougie out there.
Hey man, there are some dope cabins.
No, they're pretty nice, and they just keep getting better and better. Man, it's pretty cool.
The RV thing is probably the most legit. Like if you like,
yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, doing the RV thing, it seems like the way to do it because you can order an RV, have it dropped off, it's there for the weekend. Yep. If you can't do the dirt, but I mean, I've been telling everybody for like, I didn't get a chance to walk in and see your tent because that's not something we do really. You know, like, yeah. But my setup's legit, dude.
Yeah. I've walked in your tent before and gone, what the fuck you got going on in here? I saw you bringing carpet in here. What's going on?
We had carpet in ours too. Sure. But it's almost like it's like some gypsy type shit. Where like you're trying to set up your own little caravan of like, and then you did the pop up tent this year, and I did too, and that was a game changer alone. You know what I mean? Like it didn't even rain, but it felt good being under it. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm protected. You know what I mean? Some stupid shit like that.
You know, one thing I realized this year, which I love, and I've always kind of knew it, but I didn't feel it the same way that I did this year in particular. So we made our way over to Chuck's for the first time this year.
Oh, I still haven't
Right?
been.
So it's not crazy far away, but it's far enough. And when you go over there, like, and we were all the way hungover. We weren't feeling 100% or whatever. So we were able to kind of spend a brief period of time there and then mosey on back. But a big difference between there and over at K River is Chuck's is like, it's a bar grill shop, kind of all in the same area, but it's very heavily sunned. So there's not a lot of escape from that, with the exception of like the bar and the shop. And then like just moving back to camp, because like when we were there, like it was fucking hot. It was really hot. But then just moving back to camp, the amount of mature trees and coverage and shade that there actually is through there, and then you get the coolness, I think, off of the water as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you have that, like it was probably, I don't know, 10 degrees might be high, but like it was a noticeable difference to the point where I was standing and sweating down my fucking back to I'm standing in the same sun and the same sky and completely comfortable. And I loved that. I've always known that about Sandoval's, but just having that direct comparison of something that's literally 35 miles down the road was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because there's so much tree cover. The trees are so old there. You know, they're tall as hell. So, yeah, I mean, there's only like 2 or 3 spots where the sun really shines through. And people don't really camp there at all.
They started to this year, though. That's
They
the
were
thing.
camping at the edge by those trees, that tree line, though. But, yeah, I mean, I was worried because at first I wanted to put the little bike show in that part. But then it made more sense because nobody camps by the fire anymore to do it right there. And it was a perfect spot because of it being like so close to the stage and already kind of congregating right there. Yep. And that whole bike show thing ended up being
As far
badass.
as the
Mixer, man,
photographers,
it was great.
like you and Ben, and there's a handful of other.
Yeah.
Did that fuck y'all's lighting up? Were you?
A little bit. I think that
I saw some really good photos coming out of that space.
I thought it was the.
I tried to rush some shit with mine because I was like trying to bring all the flashes out, and then Saxon stole all my fucking batteries, and then he didn't. I think he still has my actual real battery. He gave me one of these fake ass batteries, and I'm like, dude, how do I go there with 2 Canon batteries? Now I have 2 fake batteries. It's like, where's my? You gave me that great value shit, man. And I don't know. He was doing his thing, and I guess I was like thinking about Camp Out last year where he was my assistant. Basically, I was like, hey, take pictures, do this, blah blah blah. But he was doing his own thing up there, so I wasn't really being respectful of his thing either. But the Full Throttle Hog dude was there. He's a YouTuber, and honestly, like of all the YouTube channels, like I've voiced my opinions about a lot of them on here, and I'm not trying to talk shit, but as a veteran guy on a motorcycle, I find a lot of the content for newer riders and not so much people that have been riding for a while. And this guy was the one that did the YouTube video / documentary called Sturgis Doesn't Care. That was a really cinematic and very well worded video. And I met him at K River for the Stubborn America party that Adam Sandoval puts on. So he rode from fucking San Diego and made this part of a big loop trip that he's doing back.
I believe it's pronounced San Diego.
Okay.
So stupid.
There's an Anchorman fan somewhere with their lighter in the air. Do it. Do the whale's vagina thing. Finish it out. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
How incredibly rude.
But then, so he came through and he was getting some video and a lot of shit. Yeah, we're gonna be. So he did some. He got a lot of video and a lot of coverage, and then Saxon was there. We haven't seen what Saxon's gonna do yet. If he does anything with my batteries, we'll see. And then Sandoval. It feels like Sandoval the last couple of years hasn't really leaned into doing his own content the way he's kind of. Like I said, last year there was so much content from the camp out that he pretty much had shit for days to post. Yeah. This year, like Jaden said, there were so many other people like filling the gap from what we didn't do. But it's it's part of it. I got some good photos of Justin doing the burnout and all the chicks together, I was really happy about that photo because I felt like the photo last year with all the chicks and RD was like it was a good vibe photo. It's like it kind of showed what this was about, you know.
For sure.
But then, like I said, it was just one of my batteries and my flashes went out. It was just everything was falling apart. So I was like, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm over it. I got like 4 good photos out of the whole fucking thing, you know?
Well, the whole thing, that was one of my, I knew where you were thinking about having the bike set up, and then as people were camping in, that was kind of my favorite pivot of the weekend, was with really not having to do anything with the weather. And with the bikes ended up going there. And like you said, on top of everything you just said about it by the sage, yada, 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 fucking perfect, dude.
Yeah,
I thought that was like,
nice because it was like
badass.
shaded too. It was a good space.
So cool.
I would think actually from a lighting perspective, because I don't know why I've always kind of been partial to like sunbursts.
Yeah.
Coming through because you can't manufacture that shit with flashes or whatever. When you have some of that, just kind of like that haze sun coming through some of the treetops, is really pretty.
Well, like you said, I've seen some killer photos too,
Yeah.
but I also know from
Ben got some good ones. Get Bent Moto.
Yeah.
He got some good bangers out of there too. And I know there's a lot of people. There's a chick that came in that she flew in from Canada, rented a bike, and
HT biker babe.
Yeah,
I mean,
she got some cool shit too.
Yeah,
a lot of good content. So I think she stayed with Jake and his old lady.
Yeah, they know each other. I think she does something with Eagle Rider. She's awesome.
Yeah, she was cool. Yeah.
You know, I think the highlight of the bike mixer was just talking to everyone. It forces you to mingle around, and you find these little pockets of people.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
hey, man, what are you about? They're like, oh, man, I'm from Wisconsin. You're like, where?
Hell yeah, let's talk.
I rode a Sportster 1200 all the way here. What? Did you? I thought that was cool.
There was a chick there that had a fucking. She was one of the veterans, I think, that was on stage when Sandoval gave away.
She had a
Her road glide was like, I guess I'm being a little sexist here. I was like, that's yours.
Yeah.
Because that motherfucker was bad, dude. It was nice. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It's just like where we're from, we don't see that.
It was done right.
Chicks don't come to bike night. They come to bike night on lowrider S's, dude. That's the girl bike.
You don't see a lot of females on those big bikes.
Yeah.
Agreed. And it just because they're so big, you don't see dudes on them sometimes because of the size. So I get that for sure.
Yeah. She seemed like a badass. Maybe she's killed some
I want to
people.
say she
Who
might have been
knows?
from Houston.
Her bike was
there was a
fucking
couple
clean, dude. Because I looked at it a couple times because we were kind of all walking around looking at, all of us that were doing the giveaways. We were all kind of figuring out, like, man, I like this bike. I don't know whose bike this is. Obviously, I didn't want to pick like Justin's or some of my friends or FXR Mike or anything like that, right? But the more and more I heard about the kid from Michigan, I forget his last name. It's something strange. It's like how does he say? It's like he had that the cotton candy Dyna.
Yeah. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
But
That Jonathan Blizzard guy?
Last I kept thinking Dairy Queen. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good association.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I'm with you.
That's why I was thinking
That's
like
how you take tests.
and so
Yeah.
so he had been tagging me in all those pictures and shit, and I noticed it. I pay attention to it and shit. But Justin was actually the one like, hey, let's lean into all that. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. It makes more sense. Like, this dude fucking built this bike, rode it across the country, and then put it in this show. I don't know his level of building, where he's at in his building career, or anything like that. But the fact that he just did that's what I wanted to reward. And
He did it
fucking
specifically for the mixer,
Yeah.
right? For camp.
It's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah.
Super sick.
Painted
Yeah,
it, did it all
super
himself.
sick.
Justin picked up. He picked one of the bikes that came out and partied with us at the Polar Ride. He was at the what was it? The casino we went to, Windstar.
Oh,
He
yeah,
showed up
Windstar.
with Tony and all those guys with us, and that bike's rad as fuck. Did all the work himself apparently.
Yeah.
Hang 'em Highs was good. Mike, I was telling you what happened with FXR Mike whenever So I'm gonna put him on blast because he said it on the podcast already that you guys will never hear. But he said that he was about 12 grams deep in the day of a 20-gram bag of mushrooms when he got called to go up there. And he said that when he walked up to the side of the stage, it looked like it was 3 stories high. And he said that he didn't know how to get on there. And he said when James reached
know the
his hand
code.
down, he reached his hand down. It just looked like it was like the stairway to heaven coming down.
Led Zeppelin started playing in
Yeah.
his head. Oh, that's hilarious.
And then went on down the road. Oh man,
Well,
but
dude, that's a
so he said like he goes, I was so appreciative, but I was so fucking like tripping.
not in the moment.
Like I didn't know how or what was going on, and I felt like I should be more happy or show more emotion to this. And he's like, and then apparently
Everybody's like, man, that Mike guy's a dick. Justin just gave him that long, real emotional, heartfelt explanation of why he picked him. What an asshole.
thank you.
I was telling Justin this, man. I was like, you know, if I was going to accept an award from Hang 'em High Customs, I wanted it to be in Justin. No shoes, no pants on, Ranger panties, shirtless,
Yeah,
with his moonshine. And
Yeah,
Justin was
that-
like, no, man, I need to be professional. I was like, Justin.
no, he came back to the
hang 'em
stage with pants on. We told him to go take them off.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was some dudes out there that didn't like all of our antics. I heard some people that were like we got called a bunch of hipsters.
What?
Yeah, just all these hipsters out there doing all this stuff. Like I thought to counteract the boob thing with the dropping the balls out thing
Yeah,
was a
that's
funny
hilarious.
as fuck thing.
Dude, shout out to Austin.
Is that why we're hipsters? Because we did that?
I guess because Hell Yeah Brothers are like, no, dude, I don't look at nuts, bro. Like,
Can't please 'em all.
okay, dude.
Can't-
man.
can't
all right,
please 'em
bro.
all.
Hey,
Closeted fuck.
Go buy your
You
30
know.
lard corn dog at Lone Star. And
Yeah.
You want to know how challenging stuff like that is?
Oh, dude.
Here's the thing. Like,
I was even a part of
it's
it,
Just,
and
it's
y'all
just
did.
like the internet, right? Everybody's got something to say, but then you say, all right, what's the solution? And they got a fucking thing to say.
Yeah.
So if you ain't got a solution, shut the fuck up and enjoy for what it is.
Yeah.
If you don't want to look, shut your goddamn eyes. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, fucking. The first day, like I said, we were kind of clunky trying to figure out what to do for the giveaways. But by the next day, we spent a good portion of the day figuring that out. And
We can
dude,
still
the
improve.
fucking the can thing on the head, be still, was fucking epic.
that was when at first I was like, that doesn't. But then when it played out, I was like, this is genius. This
Yeah.
is
I want to
awesome.
do more shit like that.
Yeah.
When-
All right,
you know,
let's go
when
ahead to
did
the next
that
award. Y'all stay back here.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
So
It was late. It was the start of the Simpson trio on the second night.
yeah,
Was this before
you
or
already
after the pepper?
You already did the pepper at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, he was
Hey,
crying.
man.
He was crying.
We'll get to it here in a second.
So I thought it was epic because you're like, all right, now y'all just chill out over here. And then of course, to kind of after we gave away another helmet to speed it along, it was like, they had to start walking.
Yeah.
And then immediately the chick I think was out, and then the other dudes were doing fucking good. And I the guy that lost that one, I got to give that dude a shout. I don't know what his name is, but he was fucking about everything all weekend. He was leaning into the camp out. He was up there. He was like one of the first dudes to get on stage to do whatever. Like, he's he was leaning in the right way on the camp out.
I forget his name, but when he came up, I was like, you're my champion. Like,
Yeah.
I'm behind you. And somebody, when the guy that eventually won, someone was like, oh, look at this guy.
That
This is
one that
fucking
won.
over. Like, this is a
Yeah.
matter of time. And I was like, oh, fuck you. This guy's going to win. No, he didn't win, but
The guy that won is like a twin or
Yeah.
something like that. His
Oh,
twin
yeah,
brother
you-
was
Yeah,
there.
I've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
them boys
Yeah,
roll
yeah.
around. They were never fucking apart. They was always together.
Yeah, but he
wearing
was-
like the same shit and
he
everything.
was, real, like Russian soldier, just
Yeah.
real. Oof.
I can do this all day, Captain
Yeah, yeah,
America.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna go pee right quick. Talk about the pepper thing because y'all can riff off that real good.
Trey's gonna have to talk about the pepper thing because
idea.
the idea was one of many, many, many ideas. And I'll just say this: so much of it was shotgun style this year. I'm gonna have more of that planned out next year, guaranteed. Because
yeah.
I'm not gonna go through the process and the stresses that it took to kind of throw it together that quickly. So
I'll come sit next. I'll come sit.
yeah, for sure. But I do think that it worked out,
Okay.
especially for kind of our first go around to do something like that. I do think it worked out well, but just like anything, right? You live and you learn, and you take some feedback away, and you do what you can to make it better. But yeah, speaking about the pepper thing, that was just one of, God, I don't know, it's probably 30 different things that we did for giveaway items. It was a significant amount, right?
Yeah.
And it was for, but I don't even remember what it was for. I think it was a Lexin headset.
Just, yeah, a headset.
And we just got some regular like pepper off the food truck, off one of the food
It's more
trucks.
than just a Lexus.
Yeah.
It's immortality. That's what you're going for.
No, I'm saying like, but what they received for it. But it was
Immortality.
pepper off of the food truck. And I don't know if it was something that they actually used or if they kind of had
That's
in the
what they
secret
used
stash.
to make their sauce.
There you go. Okay.
So,
That was the stuff he says specifically. Don't let anybody get this in their eyes.
yeah. So originally it was gonna be cayenne pepper. I was like, dope. And oh boy,
Hey, dude. He's out of control, man.
oh boy.
mic over there, motherfucker.
I know.
I
I
wanna
just
tell
want
a story.
Yeah.
He wanted them to see his face, dude.
I'm
He's,
sorry, Jace. God.
he's like that superstar. The guy had like a
First
great.
rule of fucking podcast.
It's like he had that great rookie year. Now he's like, I'm a brand, bro.
No. So the guy that did it, I forget his name now. I'm sorry, man. He's from Long Island, New York.
That's Todd. You're talking about Todd.
Todd, yes. And we were talking the night before. We've been hanging out and like hearing about his story and this and that. And he gets up there. He's like, I'm going to do it. I was like, all right. And they're like, it's cayenne pepper. I was like, it's cayenne pepper. I was like, I'll do
it
that,
is
man.
way
I
worse
like
than that.
spicy stuff.
He was way worse than Cayenne.
And then he
Like,
snorts
way
it,
worse.
And I did it. And I was like, instant regret. I was like, this is bad. This is not good. And I run off stage. And I'm by the river, just yelling.
Just
I'm
letting it
yelling,
rip.
man, just letting it rip. And I'm over and I'm like, everyone get away from me. And there's no one like near me. And I'm like sitting there just yelling.
Hallucinating.
And then, yeah. And then all I hear is Mama Mel, Big Treble Mel. And she's like, Trey. And I'm like, hey, I'm dying. Like, this is it. I'm about to jump in the river. I'm done. Like, I'm floating away. And someone had the great idea of giving me a wash rag and an ice, dude. And that helped me. But I've had stuff burned this way.
You're like Mike from Breaking Bad. Just let
Yeah.
me die by the river in peace.
Yeah, I've had stuff burned like in my eyes. I never had anything burned back here in the back of your eyeballs. Like you can't help it.
Ooh-wee.
And I was like,
How long did it linger around for, Trey?
it maybe like 20 minutes. And
Yeah.
afterwards, I was done. And if you
Oh,
if you were
shit. That
fucking
ain't
still
bad.
complaining,
Yeah.
yeah. After that, it was good. But there was a hot minute. I was like, I'm dead.
I
Like,
think it was Millhouse's idea. Millhouse wanted to shoot somebody in the butthole with bear spray. Have them bend over, pull their cheeks apart, and hit them right in the butthole with bear spray. And
All right, Millhouse.
somebody in the medical field was like, absolutely not. They're like, that's a terrible idea. I was like,
We had a lot of nurses out there, so we felt pretty good about all that.
yeah, we had a couple.
Like they can
paramedics.
just solve
I
everything.
think ultimately a
EMTs,
pepper spray.
no matter how
Obviously, we've
stupid
got a
it is.
year to figure this out, but I
Yeah.
think a pepper spray to the face is, something that's.
that. Yeah,
I think that's a good one.
It turned out to be scorpion pepper, Carolina Reaper, and ghost chili pepper.
Oh, it's just cayenne.
So
Just
Yeah.
salt and pepper.
it was not
dude,
just
that's
cayenne
awesome.
pepper. And
Just
and,
make them do cinnamon next year.
and then I remember when the food
cinnamon
truck
challenge.
guys came up, he's like, "Y'all did that? Y'all snorted that?" I go, "Yeah." He's like,
I think you just signed this waiver real
"Yeah."
quick.
He's like,
yeah, my fucking
Probably wouldn't have
dumbass
done
brother.
that. He's
You
like,
know, after it was all done, my brother and his chick is over there going like, "Oh, dude, Jace can get sued for this." I'm like, "Why the fuck are you saying that out loud
why would you
publicly
bring that
around
up?
people?"
I don't know. They're,
Sued for what? Because somebody said they wanted to do some shit?
Sued for having a
Come
good
on.
time,
Yeah,
for being
man.
badass.
It was fun, and it was a bonding moment
Oh,
that I
man.
wanted Todd to know
Dude,
that hey,
Todd
you
went
ain't
in,
gonna do
dude.
this shit alone, bub.
Well, when it
big
comes down to it, like
one for-
you completely have the choice to not do it, right? So many people. So if we gave away 30 things, right? 30 people chose to do that.
You chose to road here,
Exactly.
ride
Did-
here. Excuse me.
There's hundreds of other people out there that they just wanted to spectate. They didn't want to participate in the debauchery, and that's totally okay. It's your choice. What's going on the screen, guys? You motherfuckers are locked into that shit.
I'm listening.
Stop lying.
Hey, just like the camp out, The podcast is about the listeners. I mean, sometimes these guys make me laugh so much in the comments. But yeah.
Well, you got to say it then, because nobody. These are live comments.
Donnie,
Like,
just saying, don't
popping
give up
up.
your seat, Trey. Be a man.
Tell him, Donnie.
Well, that Todd Altan is the ghost pepper
Yeah,
dude,
Todd
right?
Alton, yeah.
That dude, shout out to him, man. Jumped on his bike, rode from deep in Long Island, damn near by the damn ferries where we took it across to the camp out. Did it solo? Or did he meet up some people on the way?
I think he did it solo. I'm pretty sure he did it solo because he was telling me all about it.
Todd, chime in, but I thought he met up with
that,
some
dude.
dude. I thought he met up.
I'm sure.
I know
mean,
he did a chunk of it solo.
There was so
but-
many people that came from the Northeast that I feel like he had
Because
to.
eventually, I know he eventually met up with Tony and them because he was talking about riding in with Tony. And
Yeah.
the one thing he said is, which I've heard, this is another point that I've heard from multiple people on different fronts is, so cool to get to meet up with these dudes, that I see online or whatever, and then actually meet them and ride with them. Everybody's so cool, but they're fucking fast.
Yeah.
And I heard that from multiple people that were doing, I guess, either their first time or maybe their first time meeting up with a group, whether it was Kyle and the Illinois guys. But the overall theme is,
There you go.
these
Met
dudes
up in
ride
Nashville with the
fucking
homies.
fast. Yeah.
Don't
So,
play.
Yeah, and I feel like, I'm sure all the hell yeah biker dudes want us to be like, you know what, man, we went to the camp out. We just rode our asses off and we fucking did wheelies.
I'm not fast. I'm not saying.
Well, I
don't
mean, I
include me
think
in
that some people want to do that, but I mean, like that, to me, that all gets a little bit, that doesn't really sell the experience the same way. Like how you ride is how you ride, whether you're super fast or not. Like you experience and enjoy motorcycles the way that you feel comfortable doing it, right?
Absolutely.
So I don't like leaning into that, but at the same time, I do think it's
But I do like
fair to say that
I like
there's
to
so
think of
many.
It's more than just putting parts and then everybody ride.
Right.
You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like it's,
I mean, I remember, camp out lore here. I mean, back when we first met Cody, we didn't know he was a good rider because he fucking rode around a goddamn
Spaceship.
spaceship.
He brought it
Then
this year, baby.
He jumps on the Softail and the motherfucker rips hard. He's like one of the
flat out fast.
Yeah.
one of the best riders I know.
Very
You know what I'm
talented
saying?
rider.
And then Justin's fast as fuck too. And Justin
Kelly?
was ripping. No, Justin. I haven't ridden with Kelly.
Oh, Justin.
Justin
Justin
Kelly
Kelly's
could
a goddamn
fucking ride like
motorcycle
a
rider.
motherfucker.
Justin, my machinist, he was, we were up there front together on the Talamina, and he's ripping that shit with Rachel on the back on that new bike that I wouldn't trust it, but
Well, that's
all that Chinese billet he put on.
I love the fact that like you can own where you are and stay comfortable where you are, but I think each and every one of us has in some way, shape, or form like pushed our level of comfort or our boundaries
Yeah.
of comfort. You know what I'm saying? So if this was the first time that happened to you or you felt that, then you're really getting a taste of kind of what we do all the time, and you'll find your limit or where kind of where you're comfortable at, and then you just have to tell yourself, I'm good here, and you have to be comfortable and confident in that, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, there's no fucking shame in quote unquote being a little bit slower or being the guy that is like, I'm better at riding motorcycles than this guy, so I'm going to go fast, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the thing, like for me, it's I love seeing these dudes come from all over the place, men and women alike. And when they get there, it's such a celebration. But like, we started getting tagged from people getting on the road like a Sunday.
Yeah.
Almost a week ahead of the event.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Like Fast Life Campout 5, packing up, hitting the road. It's 5 days ahead of the event. That is the best.
Yeah.
The best. Because that's literally what we're going to do in 2 weeks. We're not going to an event, but
Yeah.
we're packing up and we're just disappearing. And that's what they did from all over the place. And that's just so much respect. Thank you. Appreciate
For
that.
sure.
Thank you for choosing this to be your escape. I hope we rewarded you with an amazing experience and a great time.
Yeah, the people that were making a trip of it, the people that Kyron came in for one night. One night.
Yeah. Fucking
Steve came in for one night.
Chris
Yeah.
Moose came in one night.
One
Came
night, I mean-
super late. And I was like,
He
what are
came
you
late and he
doing here?
left the same night, as far as I understand.
Yeah. I was like, what are you doing here? He's like, hey, man. And I was like, song for a few, talk
crazy.
for a little bit. It was crazy.
I dig it.
Kyron and the other dude that rode with him too. Fuck, it's just my name.
JR.
Is that his
No,
name?
he stayed though, I think.
No, both of them left. The
Okay.
dudes that run the clean moto.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ripped down because I think they did. I could be wrong. I was in my own world the whole time. So
Justin,
I thought-
was his name. I think.
Justin,
I think so.
Everything seeing
'cause I
everyone
didn't even
got
see
me
him.
hyped, man. Because a lot of people know I'm in paramedic school right now, and
Yeah.
it takes a lot out of me, man. Like a lot. So I don't get to do as long as bike nights I want to do anymore. I have to throttle everything back. So I'm studying. Y'all saw it that week. I was like, hey man, I gotta leave here. Where are you going? I gotta study, man. I got exams.
He wants to make this about him every
No,
chance he gets.
no.
Let's
It
turn
just
that mic off.
excited me because I was like, hey, you know what? It's gonna push me through this, and I just want to be there, and that
I feel
that was dope.
Yeah.
Just to
feel
see
that.
everything, have everyone just kind of it motivates me is what I'm getting at. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Just to say, Kyron went. He blasted about himself.
Yeah,
he had to get
okay.
back for, I believe, his wife's graduation.
Yeah, that was dope. I mean, I appreciate that, man. That was awesome. Yeah, I mean, all these, I don't know. It's surreal in a sense. Like, it's weird sitting here now, essentially a week after, right now, a week ago, we were giving away shit on the stage. Like, I think you were probably snorting something. Or was that Saturday
That was
night?
Saturday
night,
That was
okay.
Saturday night.
Somebody was doing
Whoa.
push-ups on stage
I
right now.
snorted pepper.
Friday night
I don't
he
do
was
anything else. It's,
Frolicking around on mushrooms like he was. Yeah.
hey man, that was the experience.
So-
Allegedly.
figuring shit
But I mean, like, it's so weird, like how, I mean, this happens with our trips as well. It's like, at the beginning of the year, like Jaden usually does us counters, like 48 days till we head, till FLC5 bound. And then next thing you know, like, it happens, and then you're there, and you're at T-Bar Tuesday on Camp Out Week. Then you're meeting up at the Buc-ee's, for us to go to the fucking event. Your tent's set up. You're in it. You're there, and then next thing you know, it's over. Like, do you ever get that point where like, fuck, I don't want this day to end. I don't want, because if Friday ends, then there's only one more day left.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I totally do. That's this year more than any. I stayed up with some assistance longer than I've ever stayed up, and I didn't want it to end because I've said it before and I will say it again. Hands down, out of all the stuff we do, and we do a significant amount of stuff, this is my favorite thing we do. And I'm not saying that being biased or that it's our thing. I love it for what it is. I love the basicness of it, the ability to simply get on your motorcycle and disappear somewhere and not come home for a few days, end up in some beautiful woods at a great space, great riding all around you with people who love to do the same thing. I cannot ask for anything more.
Yeah,
that
for
is such a great thing to experience. And at this point, we've beat it like a drum. If you missed it, I'm sorry. That's on you. I'm to the point where I'm not going to beg nobody no more. If you don't come, that is 100% on you. Everybody who comes and everybody who makes the experience theirs understands exactly why we're as passionate about it as we are, because it's just that special.
Yeah, agreed. It's one of those things, man, like time and all these events that we enjoy and we love doing, man, they come and go so quick. I mean, we had every year the camp out is always like a precursor to an even larger expansion of our reach of riding motorcycles across country. Last year we went to Maine after this camp out, and then now this year we're doing Pacific Northwest. We're hitting the other corner on arguably the longest we've ever been out on the bikes on a road trip.
Yeah.
And so there's always this thing where it's like a birthday and Christmas. They're close together, so like they're not spread out long enough to where you can recover from one and prepare for the next. It's like bam, bam, and then it's over. And it's just such a long ass wait.
Your birthday's like December 12th. Christmas is what it is.
That's a good analogy.
And so I'm like, I mean, like I was telling James, I got to cut. My trip's going to be a little different on the back end than the rest of ours. But I mean, dude, it's like fuck. Like it seems like a lifetime ago when we were in New York and we were,
Crazy.
riding the subway and getting called, Capitol rioters or whatever the fuck that lady
You know
said.
what I think about? And sorry,
If we're gonna pivot to the trip real quick before we do that, the last thing I said, everything. I don't want to be hyperbole guy. Came out was perfect. Everything's been said. It was true. the amount, one thing as far as the stuff rolling in on whether it was Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the amount of people that came from over 1,000 miles to get there fucking blew me away. Like once I start really getting tagged in the stories and seeing the stories of, I've got all right, 1,075 miles home, 1,400 miles home, whatever. And even if it's 800 miles home, that kind of commitment to come it does not go unnoticed by me.
Yeah,
and everybody that did it, you're a fucking gangster, man. I hope it wet your whistle, and I hope you just want to do it again. And if it's not ours, it's something else. But I just felt like all of a sudden 1,000. I feel like so many people said 1,000 miles. Fucking, I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. And it's such a good mental thing that if you've never done it, get it done
That's
one time.
respect, exactly.
Then, so yeah, you're a fucking killer if you did it, and that's the last thing I have to say about the camp out.
Yeah,
One more thing.
Okay.
What I say? All about this guy.
Hit him with it.
I fuck with you, Trey. I love you.
I love you too. Everyone was great, man. I just want to give a shout out to all the girlfriends and wives that were just
Dude,
awesome, man.
You just wasn't
They were
even there,
awesome,
dude. You're making us look bad.
Dude, they were awesome. Everyone was just happy and cheering. I loved
Man.
to see it.
We could have got away with
Yeah.
murder tonight.
Yeah.
Well, that is another thing, and I hope.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what?
All
I'm
right,
glad
another
you-
40 minutes. Hold on.
No. I'm glad you brought it up. As far as I'm gonna zig then zag on that.
Yeah.
As far as a single guy, and you know how much if you're a single dude and you ride, you know how most of this stuff is. There may be some girls, but 98% of them are wives or girlfriends. There's never been a camp out like this where if you were a single guy to swing for the fences. As far as
There's a lot of women.
there was a very, very nice handful of women that were single that, as far as I understand, were there and just hanging out, partying.
Girls looking for camp out boyfriends.
Yeah, just looking for that. You want your Fast Life wife? There you go.
Hey, I love the meatballs, Terry Lynn.
But as far as that goes,
great.
all the girls in general, man, it was a good vibe. And
Yeah.
if you're a chick wanting to ride out, there was chicks that rode out together. I forget her name, the one with the street bob that drank from Trent's leg.
Yeah,
on the street.
that's the
Dude,
chick
she's badass. I met her in Round Rock. I just
Where's
forgot
she
her
from?
name. She's from Houston, but
yeah, Houston.
Nice.
Mary.
oh, is that Mary Hell?
Yes.
Mary.Hell or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know her.
But man, there's
Tag.
girls that rode out. They had such a good time. There's girls that flew in. It was I don't
awesome,
know. What
man.
do you want? It's
Yeah, I mean, we had talked about it a little bit at the camp out, but I was glad to get that picture of all at least our wives and girlfriends on the bikes, of us kind of guys that put the camp out on. But yeah, I mean, between all the preparation that the women do to help us get the campsite set up, and all the things, I mean, putting up with our shit for months, getting to it, and then their vibe that they kept the whole time, just partying, having a good time. I mean, there's something to be said about that. I mean, women in general, like, can control the vibe for us. If my wife's tripping, then I'm fucking like, man, what's wrong with that? You know what I mean? And she was positive and good and good-hearted the whole time, and she was trying to meet new women, and there was a lot more women there for her to meet and become friends with. And
no doubt, their week starts on that Tuesday too.
Yeah,
their camp
yeah.
out week starts because they're expected to talk to. A lot of times it's lesser numbers, but if there's one chick there,
Yeah.
two chicks there, they're kind of expected to talk to her and whatever.
Yeah.
So they're the same thing as us, but yeah.
yeah, I think
great.
Trey threw us under the bus. We're moving on to the Pacific Northwest trip.
Where was your old lady?
Trey's like, well, before we stop, I just want to give a shout out to all the women and the wives. I'm like,
Hey, they took care of me, man.
I do too. I get
I was
it.
on the verge of dying, and all I hear is these voices. I'm like, I don't know who this is, but
Mel was hands
that's
down
Mom right there.
She was a saint the whole time.
Yeah.
Cody's wife, Rachel, Brittany, Tara
was
Lynn with the
cool.
fucking
I
meatballs.
blessed.
I can never get past her meatballs. She has the best meatballs in the world. Dude, it was all great. Fucking Jake's wife. What was her name? Lauren?
Lauren, yeah.
Lauren. She was
Amy
fucking
was
cool.
dope.
They had such a great time as like first
Jess
time
was
attendees.
dope.
Yeah,
too.
they were fucking walking around with backpacks full of everything you want.
exactly
Yeah.
what
Oh yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And they just leaned all the way into it, and I know they had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
I know they did.
Fucking Millhouse's reel where his old lady sitting on the toilet. Did you see that?
Sarah. Love
Sarah's the shit. I love her all the
Sarah's a
time.
He just did that little quick flip too. He's like, "Yeah, check that out, boy."
That's right, James.
I don't. You know,
You were
what?
too drunk to notice that shit going on,
Dude, for sure, because I was definitely litty both nights, and that
Oh, dude.
this is
Remember
probably
staying
an
up
error on my part. Well, first of all, I didn't even
We didn't know how
all
that
this
was
shit
gonna
was
go.
shotgun,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Including the fact that I'm running the flow.
Yeah.
And Millhouse and I didn't discuss it. We didn't have a whole lot. We had all the stuff was so shotgun to the point where, like, I thought we did pretty well for what we had. But preparation wise, it was so poorly done that we will do better. But that's just
Yeah.
one of those things that you live and you learn, just like I said earlier. And but I'm stoked with how it did pop off, and everybody had a good time. But yeah, I know Millhouse ass and fucking Justin ass sitting over there on the side of the stage, but I'm sure I'm drunk and just raging. Like, how you motherfuckers feel out there?
Yeah.
That's right, Jay. And they had a great giggle about it, and they're like, it's going to forever be a joke and all that. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't wait till I catch a joke on your ass, boy.
Yeah. It was great, man.
I love it.
I can't thank certain people enough,
Yeah, yeah.
especially on Friday night on certain things, but it was just amazing.
For sure.
Amazing experience, and I'm glad I got to do it, and I can't wait to do it again. So it was cool.
One more thing I just thought about as far as the wristbands and the prices
Okay.
and everything. There was 4 veterans that Adam Sandoval kind of pulled up on. Did they all go home
yeah.
with like $900 each?
$750.
Oh, yeah. So
So on that,
5
so
veterans, right?
he put up $1,000, and then Big Trouble put up. It was Justin put up money.
shot up to like $3,800.
Yeah, well, so Justin put up money. JC Cycle, which was Josh from
Yeah.
NorCal, he's the one that has that wild Loch Ness FXR. He put up 500.
Motorcycle dork.
Yeah, Motorcycle Dork. Who else put up $500 for that?
Dude,
Big Trouble, didn't he?
Justin
Was it Big
put up-
Trouble? I know
yeah.
Justin did. I
They
know
were both like, "Hey, I'll throw this."
all of a
I'll
sudden
throw
it
this,
was
and
it
throw
was
this.
coming in like an auction where somebody was like, "Fuck, I got 500. I got another 600. I got
Yeah.
1,000." Like,
You know, and I
it
think,
was badass.
I think the official number that actually occurred on stage as well was not the number that it ended up being, because it ended up getting rounded up to a number that was like equal for all participants, that type of thing. Because I think we were in like the $2,600 to $2,700 range, and then we got up to, I think, even $3K while on stage, and I don't think the math is accurate to be able to say that so whatever the math is, but it rounded all the way up to where every single one of, I believe it was 5 participants went home with $750 in their pocket, and that
Yeah.
was super rad.
Yeah, veterans or whatever. So as far as just to touch on that, I know some people are fucking super on prices and stuff, but yeah, that's the kind of
No,
thing.
what was
where-
cool though? So Adam brought him up on stage. He said, "Hey, if you have a bike in the show and you're an active military, come up on stage."
That's what, all right.
Super
was-
impromptu.
There was 4 people that came up.
Was it 4? Okay.
Johnny Utah, baby.
Johnny Utah, Rob was up there. The chick that had
That
the
same
the
gal.
badass
Yep.
bike that I was just talking about, and then another
Wheelo and somebody else.
was Wheelo. I don't
Wheelo
think
No,
Wheelo's not active.
Yeah,
yeah.
Wheelo, I think, was on the side. I think he just took pictures.
Well, anyway,
I think he popped up there when they started talking about giving money. He said, "I don't want give it to them." But
Okay. Maybe
so
that's
I know there was 4
5.
people up there for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they got to go home with like cash in their pocket, like
Yep.
it almost covered their whole trip.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
for
dude,
sure.
that could be
You
a
know?
rent pay. I mean, depending on what their situation, that could be rent.
Yeah.
That's 2 months of car payment. That's
Gas right now.
Oh, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
2 months of a backed up bill if they've got one. You know, again, whatever the fucking you need it for. Oh, dude, incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever
Yeah.
you use it for, but
Before-
and that's right up like, so Adam's our partner in this, and he that's his alley, like that is what his platform is based upon, and I love that, and the fact that there was no planning about that, it just happened. We were shouting him out, saying thank you very
Yeah,
much,
thank
and
you.
then he wanted to come like be a participant
yeah.
in what was happening, and that's a
It
beautiful.
was dope
thing,
that he put up $1,000, and within
Yeah.
with a
Match,
matter of
match,
5
yeah.
minutes, you know, what was it? 4 times 775. So what's that? 3. I don't know. What
I'm off
math?
math. I ain't doing math right
Yeah,
now.
just if
Come on, you're in school or
you
some
want to
shit.
grab about $25, you know what I mean?
750
That's
times
where the
4
money
people,
could
or it was
go.
5 people.
Just-
I think. I don't know.
It's just the whole vibe.
I'm now in school for that.
I dig it.
I do math, but I don't
Dude.
do math like that.
It doesn't matter.
Anyway, but no, it was rad. I feel like so many people, you know, here's the thing, right? This is another concept, right?
And there weren't 80 posts about it. Look what we did. Hey,
Yeah.
we're doing this. We're doing this. No, dude, this just happened.
Yep.
This
Yeah.
happened, and nobody would have fucking known about it except the people that were there. Except I thought about it downstairs, and I said, "Oh yeah, bring that up because
Yeah.
that was fucking awesome."
Actually, Jake, speaking of Jake, he ended up getting one of the most fire photos, two of the most fire photos of the whole camp out, which was you with the titty
Me and
chick.
old girl.
Yeah, you with the chick. And then the
push-up.
push-up contest thing,
was
right?
awesome.
That was
So many memes can be made off of
Hey,
that one,
man,
bro.
that
Drop
is
it.
such a motivating.
Hey, is the
photo.
computer on right there?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna airdrop this real
I
quick.
see like there's so much. So if you want to talk about like how can you capture the energy and the vibe of a single event in any type of medium, photo, video, whatever, that was a capture in time of the enthusiasm and excitement that was occurring live as fuck on stage right at that moment. So much because that that was right at the very end of it too, right? When they were on full struggle mode, right? And they were head to head, I think. Was it just Ruben and or no, it wasn't. It was Ruben. It was Ruben and Utah. They were the last two standing.
The last two, and the chick did it for a while.
Yeah, but they were they were fighting through all that they could at that point in time,
Yeah.
and
There
like
it is.
the enthusiasm and the people that were
Got
cheering them on. Oh my god,
Terrible
dude.
Tara over
raw,
there.
super raw.
Yeah, you got
Tina,
Scott,
Yeah,
Without-
Tina right in front of her.
the amazing
Tina
Banas,
Tantrum
man.
over there.
I drove her up.
Wheelo Skilo, you got fucking
Body,
mercenary,
bangarang.
mercenary motorcycles. You got the other chick that
Okay,
lost.
you're right. I'm sorry. That's Brandon. That's Brandon from Mercy.
You got the chick that lost, like egging on Borrelia over there. Dude, I
Just
fucking
look at the
love that.
pain in Utah's face. Like he is fighting,
Yeah.
fighting just to keep it up. And
I think there's been a couple memes made about this, and it's pretty good stuff.
I mean, there's there's a lot of stuff that can come out of it. You know what I mean?
Mercenary reposted it and stuff, so it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that other people were shooting stuff, so it really helped capture it. Because being on stage, like you just don't have that perspective, like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But dude, that was one of my favorite photos. I wanted to show everybody the other one. It was great because that chick leaned into the camp out 100%.
You
and
two close it out.
Dude, why not?
yeah, nah, I'll get demonetized for that one.
You know which photo I actually really enjoyed
But if you want to see it right quick,
was
Oh, I've seen it. I got it.
Get Bent Moto took a series of photos,
yeah,
but one that he took was it was like a highlight, a side highlight of the fire, and it was at the mixers, right? So it had like an active flame with bikes in the background,
Oh, okay.
and then with people actively moving through, and I was like, that's so fucking camp out right there.
Yeah.
It's just such a vibe.
I
I thought it was dope.
I did screen grab a couple images that I really loved. I was like, ooh. Just for my own personal, keep them in the phone kind of thing.
yeah. I liked all the. So I asked a lot of people to send me whatever videos they got to help me kind of feel the content thing. Trust me, I have not had a chance this week to touch making a
Filter
reel.
through, yeah.
But I got a lot of good videos of people while I was shooting photos of Justin doing the burnout. I got a lot of videos from the other side while we were shooting. So the flashes are going off, and you see the burnout, and you got Trey and Big Trouble holding Justin's bike from. Dude, it was fucking rad. It was a rad fucking weekend, man. It was. I really was a fucking.
Trying to be cool about it. Yeah, Campbell.
Yeah.
Dude, it was so
It's
it was
aight.
surreal.
Any
You
other
already,
day.
you already said it was surreal. It was. And this year was, like I said, it just. I know people are probably tired of hearing about it, but it was.
I don't
one
even
that
care
blew the
because
fucking
it's a
socks
moment
off
in
of.
time, and that's why, like, when everybody was putting their stuff out, the least that we could all do, and I think we all did it pretty well, was just like reshare it, put it out there. Just whoever wants to see it. I'm sure you're tired of it too, but this is a small fucking fraction of life and
Yeah.
and barely a week of your time, right? So if you're over it, be over it. If you're still living in it, still living it.
Yeah.
Whenever it's done, guess what? You got to wait another 50 fucking weeks for it to happen again. So
Yeah.
that's the beauty of it. That's what we love about it, and clearly that's what y'all love about it too.
Man, I think the beauty of it is it goes on and on because the club stall in NC, speaking of Johnny Utah, he got that going. I know they're thriving right now. And, man, I just hope the dudes that left, it just lit a fire under somebody's ass where they get home and they round up a couple of dudes. They go, hey, dickhead, let's start going to bike night. Let's, pick up. And it just grows from there, and you do your thing. And next time, if you came in 1 guy, 2 guys this year, come with 4 guys. Come with 5 guys.
Shut up, Craig. Yeah. Has he not put dates out yet for the camp?
He just did.
Oh, just now. That's going to cost you, sir.
I heard the official name was up in the air.
What, down south campout?
Yeah.
Was it going to be Fast Life South?
I heard it was up for sponsorship. I heard there was a sponsorship in play.
I like the fact that he finally decided to move it to the Pensacola area. That was probably one of the best decisions he ever made, and I'm really, really happy.
Like Fast Life South, though.
Maybe even just put it in Alabama. Fuck Florida. Let's go to Orange Beach.
Alabama.
We want to make a transition.
Yeah, man, we need to talk about this massive trip that we got coming up. And, for rounding up, thank you all for coming to camp out. For you guys listening right now on live, if you were there, you know what we're talking about, and I appreciate you coming. If you didn't make it, I get it, man. There's a lot of things that come out, and there's a lot of events I've failed to make because of obligations and things. So I get it, but man, it's a great thing. And yeah, if you want to lean into it next year, go ahead and have a good time.
All the way in.
That's our hella.
Yeah.
Hella. Trying to find at least our route.
Well, I have the dates. I have each day where we're stopping and staying.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
All right, bet.
I screenshotted that thing that I think Jaden put out.
He did.
Let me get rid of this picture of Jaden.
Y'all think about how much it's almost like we're reversing the way that we're doing things, right? So our camp out used to be what is
I had sex with her back in the day.
What?
bro?
That was a grandma.
You had sex with her?
Random.
Meemaw got it, dude.
Does that look like Craig behind her?
That's Craig, grandma.
It's way back in the day, just for the record.
No, I was saying like
Craig, I had sex with your grandma.
for
Sorry.
for as much as we are now like planning and putting required effort and so on and so forth into camp out requirements, we are going the opposite direction with our travels. Our first trip, our first couple of trips was very, very structured. We had a lot of stuff pre-booked. We had essentially obligations, and we are so much more now that we're four into it.
It's the 4th year.
We're so much more freestyle than we were before. Like we're extremely efficient and proficient in what we're able to do because we've done it. We've got so many miles on the road with these same men, and
that's the when you say we've gotten good at it, like it's
fuck yeah,
just
we're good at it.
We're not worried about anything.
No,
You know what I mean? Like,
And that's-
we'll figure it out. If this falls through, we'll figure it the fuck out. So there's no like anxiety going into a trip. Most of us have all gotten our bikes pretty well maintained and taken care of. We're just used to all this shit. We've been through it. You know what I mean? What happened last year with you and Cody was probably that was a reminder for me. Like when I was on the Talamine, I was like, I'm not gonna go as hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I obviously I don't know. I'm not using it as an excuse. I might have been going as hard as I could, but I was thinking about like, fuck, I don't want to slip up
for sure.
because I forgot to put full coverage back on my bike, and I still haven't today.
Yo, you better call them motherfuckers right now on air.
Whenever I took the bike apart in October to do all the work to it, I just put it down to liability because I'm like, it's going to be sitting on a lift for the next couple of months. I'm not going to pay full coverage on it. And then I forgot to put it back on full coverage, and I still to this day need to do that. So I'm like thinking about it every time I go to bike night, and I'm fucking coming home a little sauced up and shit. I'm like, need to fucking chill the fuck out. You know what I mean?
Make that call tomorrow.
Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely right. I'm mindful of that as a result of obviously my own issue. If for any of you who don't know, or maybe you're tuning in last year before our big trip, 1 week before I went out and I crashed, right? So my bike was Frankenstein all the way to Maine last year just to get there. thank God for, everybody who was able to help me out very, very much. Justin Kelly, I love you. Thank you. To keep me on the road, just to get right. But by the time I got back, dude, that thing was falling the fuck apart. Literally, my shock was in half. This was like not the type of shit you need to have, right? So needless to say, here we are 2.5 weeks or so before, and I'm being mindful of that, right? Yeah. Because the around town shit here is can be a little sketch sometimes. People suck. People are bad drivers. Yeah. And Cody did the same thing. He just had a little bit more lead time, so he was able to get his bike a little bit more back to what it was.
Yeah.
But that's part of the equation, dude. Maintenance, preparation, being kind of in the right frame of mind as well. Like you have to do something as significant as what we're doing. We spoke about it. Excuse me. We spoke about it early on that there are folks that don't get an opportunity, or they don't take the chance to do this their entire life, right? It's a major, major thing to just disappear for a couple weeks on a bike to wherever you're going.
Yeah.
So now that we've done it a handful of times now, we're pretty well versed in what it takes and what we can expect. So there's lessons learned. The exact same thing we were just talking about campout wise, lessons learned, and then you're able to really propel yourself forward with more success, or at least more preparation from those lessons learned. And I love that about where we're at right now. We're getting damn near the end of the lower 48. We're probably one trip away from kind of knocking it all out.
Yeah.
And dude, but over the last handful of years, being able to learn the things that we have really sets us up for continued success in the way that we like to travel. And I love it.
I'd say so much about it is chemistry and the mix of the Dallas dudes and the East Texas guys. We just have a thing. It's I don't know. It's just that whether you want to call it a team, we came together. We just all gel so fucking well together. And I would, man, for the people that write in, oh man, I would love to do this. How do you do that? Whatever. If you have a guy or two guys that you gel with, start with that. I mean, that's all
you could start with an easy 3-day weekend trip for sure.
And you learn things about each other. You learn how you are on the road. Fuck, how many have we done to Houston? Staying in an Airbnb. I mean, H-check. I mean, it's
nitty gritty.
Yeah, we didn't just jump into this, but you find the guys. You do little things like that, and you find the guys that you click with, and then all of a sudden it turns into, no matter what the rest of the world says, no, dude, this time is blocked off for these dudes, and we're good.
Yeah, we're doing this. Yeah,
man, I can't stress that enough. It's about chemistry and liking the people you do it with, and finding somebody that you're willing to sacrifice and
enough
make
people,
it to do it with them.
Yeah, enough people that are easygoing, that are chill, that are, because any kind of big trip, I mean, I feel like no matter what, you got to have somebody that has. There has to be a group of the guys that are kind of responsible and are kind of like, hey, look, we need to try to get here. We need to do this. We can't fuck off. We can't spend 2 nights here because then blah, blah, blah is going to happen. I mean, as much as I would like to say that our trips are becoming more freestyle, like you were saying, like more like, okay, we'll see what happens today and tomorrow, we still have a timeline in which we need to be home.
Yes.
And with us, our first trip when we went essentially to Salt Lake City, San Francisco, Born Free, and home, our furthest distance from the house was roughly 1,800 miles, right? That was the furthest we were from home.
Bodega Bay?
Yeah. We didn't, Bodega Bay was like maybe 1,800 miles from here.
Just whatever, NorCal, north of San Francisco.
North of San Francisco. So now, essentially, we're adding another 600 miles north of that. So we're looking at our furthest distance from home is now going to be 2,600 miles.
Yeah.
So I mean, hence why our trip is over a 5,000 mile trip for this time. It's scary. I mean, it's not scary. It's just like
it's exciting for a different
This
reason.
is the first trip we've done that we haven't had a layover.
Yo, that's gonna be some real shit.
Yeah, we're gonna find some shit out about each other.
For sure.
But
it's gonna change what we have to pack.
Yep.
all right, there's a bunch of military guys that are about to do whatever. Sorry, I've never been part of a unit kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's the same thing as far as a team. Like you draw off the strength of each other, and man, I couldn't be more. If I was gonna have to do something like that, I couldn't be more confident in the dudes I have around me. And I've said it before. You do, or at least I do. I'm in the group where I draw strength off these guys, and when I'm running low, there's like I said, there's 7 other dudes that I look over that I can at any time. So yeah, I've got. I don't know. I'll fucking get emotional if I keep talking about it, but I couldn't have more confidence in the dudes I'm riding with as far as getting it done and whatever you want to call it. So yeah, we're a fucking unit.
You know what that's called, Jaden?
Family.
It's called brotherhood. No, seriously, man.
For sure.
Like, when
Are you
you
serious?
look over and you're like, "Hey, this fucking sucks,"
Yeah.
and he's thinking the same thing,
he's
he's
sucking
looking
the
at
same
you
way
like,
you are.
"We're sucking it up, brother.
For sure.
We're together."
So the thing, it's funny you say that is I've got that with you. Like I haven't done 1,000 miles. I haven't done the 1K in a day thing with either of these dudes. I've done it with Jones and I've done it with you and Chris Gollop. Like those are the only 3 dudes that
Sturgis,
we've
yeah,
done.
coming back from Sturgis, dude.
That we've done the whole time. And I've done, dude, crazy miles with both of these guys, like hard miles, whatever.
Yeah.
But as far as the whole, like
You didn't do 1,000 when we came back from camp out down south one. I feel like we all hit 1,000 on that trip on the way home.
man, I feel like it was me and Jones were the last 2. The first one.
The first one, me, you, Jones, like we all left together. Remember, we stopped and I was telling everybody to eat Moe's, and we ended up. We got to fucking like.
We stayed somewhere the night, right?
No, we stopped at the damn Waffle House in Jackson or in that town right on the Mississippi after you pass Jackson, and we put all our like cool weather clothes on because it was dark, and we blasted. I ended up getting home like 2 or 3 a.m. that night, but you rode with us the whole time. Because Jacob and somebody else from East Texas, I forget who it was, rode with us as well. It was me, you, Jones, Jacob, and his cousin. And then after they broke off, it was me, you, and Jones that kind of finished that trip out. I think Kyle drove with Trent to the first one. So we did 1,000 miles on that trip. I know I did. And my house is only 30 more miles past yours. So.
Okay, well, fuck. Maybe I've done it 3 times. I didn't remember. I know me and Jones did it coming back from Daytona, where Cody almost made it with us, but he broke off in New Orleans.
Yeah.
We've done it. So.
Oh, Daytona, you didn't.
Yeah, that was right. That was we did do it. Yeah, that I did it with Trey, but we may have done it that time too if we did it that one night.
Isn't that crazy to think to us like that's kind of normal? But you tell other people that, like people that don't ride, they're like, y'all fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, why'd you do that?
Just somebody that doesn't ride a motorcycle, 1,000 miles in a day.
They're like, AC.
They're like, in a day?
Yeah.
And then you go on a motorcycle. They don't get it, dude.
That
Which,
blows their mind.
but they don't even know what it is.
Yeah, they don't understand that.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't
as men, let me ask you this: as men, is there not something on the table that makes you want to say you've done that? And as far as like being able to do it with able bodied, like we live in a unique part of the country where 1,000 miles in every direction, we're finally in some good shit. So, I'd rather, instead of taking 2 days to get to the cool shit, I'd rather just blast out there, get there, wake up the next day, and I'm fucking there. You know what I'm saying? Like one day of suck for the rest of the day is having a good time. That's what we did when we did the Smokies trip.
Yeah.
So I'm a procrastinator, so I'd rather do easy on the way out there than I got to be at work this day. I'm going to suck it up to get it done.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying all day, every day. But as far as what you're also saying, you ever seen the video of the old guy, I don't know if he's in a wheelchair, but he's like 80, 85. He revs his old bike, like his son or grandson or somebody got running for him. Cry. Dude, it makes me cry watching it. We've only got so many years and so many, whatever to do these. Like, it's not into perpetuity.
We do, but we do and we don't. I mean, I feel like we have a lot of years. It's really going to depend on how we take care of ourselves.
Yeah, it's the manner in which you do it, too.
But it's also one of those things that, like, it's a mindset you have to stay in for this to stay amazing. Because, like I said, this, you guys doing it with like James, and you guys, we're going on 4 years, but that's also, you add the other 3 years before that I did it with, Chris, who was at the camp out, and Brad and these other friends. I had a whole nother life before I met you guys doing this shit. You know what I mean? And I don't see it changing for me. I hope that we as a group do this for years and years to come. I guess I have a little bit more pessimism in it, or is it pessimism? Would that
Pessimism.
be? I'm looking at him because he's in school.
You're pessimistic, so
Dude,
pessimism is.
I have a high school education. I
Okay.
am not that smart.
Yeah, but you have glasses on.
I know what you're saying.
He's in paramedic school.
I know what you're
His
saying.
grammar,
but
come to me,
You're
bro.
smarter
I
than
feel
me, dude.
confident.
That's the beauty of what we actually have in our group, right? So you've had some of that. All of us, I don't know. It's like meeting a fucking girl later in your life, right? Everybody's got a history. You have to accept that history and embrace that history.
Yeah.
And like that history that you have and I have and all these guys have fuels what your present is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the best part about it. Nobody can predict the future. We can hope that we've got there, but the way I look at what we all have is the foundation is so strong based upon timing, based upon when we met each
Yeah.
other, at what point in all of our lives, and why does it mean to you what it means to you now?
Yeah.
Right? It may not have meant to you the same thing 10 years ago. It may not mean the same thing 10 years from now. So you have to embrace what it is right now and run with it for as long as it possibly goes. Because we all have friends. We all have people in our lives, regardless, friends, whatever the relationship. We all have people in our lives that have come and go, right? And that's part of life. That is
Yeah.
part of life. There are some people that I've had come through my life, the same as all of you all, that were some of the most important people in my life at that time.
Yeah.
It's no slight to them for what it was at that time, but I'm also not that person for them any longer, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of it's
mutual.
It is mutual, yes.
Yeah.
But I won't trade it for anything, and
Yeah.
they'll always have a special part in my heart, that type of thing. But you're right. We don't know where this is going to go. But
Yeah.
the hell if we're not going to ride it till the wheels come off, and everything that we have right now and the connection that we have, I'm throwing everything I have into it, because I tell you what, like I'm getting longer in the tooth. I don't know that I'm going to find another, like a third or fourth life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If this is it and then the rest is fucking sunset with me and fucking Brittany, then
Is what it
whatever.
is, yeah.
But I'm not fast forwarding to that point. I'm living in the present and doing everything I
Yeah.
possibly can, because I know what this means to me, and I know what it means to all of you men as well.
I would say that like one of the things, as someone that has done this with other people in the past, to me, I can do these same rides, the same last 3 years we've already done. I can do that again and again and again and again.
Yep.
And sometimes the only difference needs to be maybe I'm on a different bike, or maybe there's one new person in the group now. Like Chance coming into
That
the
new
fucking
person
mix.
brings an energy,
You know what I
dude.
mean? And it's like, oh shit, like I want to show like this dude like
Dickhead
all
over
this
here.
rad shit. He's got some prospect energy. He sat in my seat earlier, dude. Fuck that dude.
You gotta watch a couple bikes, huh?
I wish y'all could see his face. He's got the funniest face right now.
Yeah.
Goddamn Trey.
Trey's a shit.
I love
Bro,
him.
hey,
I love him.
We need
so
to put him
much.
back on Earth. He's fucking
Think about this. We met Trey less than 1 year ago.
yeah.
In fucking August of last year, riding to goddamn
Well, Trey,
Sturgis.
you know,
No,
like
we
Trey
knew
used to get
before.
his.
Well, I know he
haircut.
started
Yeah,
coming to bike night or whatever, but like that was his first fucking anything with us, right? And he's all the way leveled up.
Britta has been cutting Trey's hair for a while,
Right.
And then when she finally, like, I guess you invited him to the pool party one day,
Yeah.
And so Britta's like, it's so weird that one of my clients is here hanging out with us and shit like that, and it's like, oh, Trey. Because Trey was super quiet when he first came around.
He was.
As you should be,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Listen
I don't-
first.
Yeah.
Respectful.
Thank
I don't
you.
really.
Respectful.
I've
He
never
ain't got
been
a
real
hard on
vocal.
yet. He ain't got torqued up before he started putting it all out there.
Sturgis, he got torqued up.
I've never been real vocal on this, but I feel like I should probably stake my claim now. So I met Trey we met at the Last Stand, right? Before he knew.
Before the
before he
last
knew
stand-
anybody.
So I actually went to a T-Bar Tuesday at Ferris Wheeler.
Oh,
That's
okay.
when I was on a street bob.
Okay.
And
But nobody talked to you, right?
I jumped on Yelp and I was like, I'm just looking for something
comes the guy on
new.
the street bob.
Yeah, hey, don't make fun of my street bob.
I love it. I love it. That's my next bike, dude. Take it easy.
And I showed up, and like one of the waitresses, I don't remember her name. She goes, "Hey, you're here for the bike night?" And I was like,
That's right.
"There's a
That's
Yeah.
bike night here?" She goes, "Yeah." I was like, "I guess I'm here now."
Yeah.
And I get my little platter of food, and I was like, all right. And then y'all pulled up, and I was like, oh, shit, there's another world I do not know about, apparently. I was like,
He had his heather blue shirt on.
I was like, okay. I was like, this is crazy. Seeing bikes, seeing other bikes, seeing the T-bars.
Similar style bike?
Yeah, similar style. I was like, I guess this is what I've been looking for. I don't know. And that's when I started getting my hair cut by Britta.
Oh,
Because I had, a couple other guys before her. They
Because of
left.
that, like an FBI agent move, like you were like, this dude's wife, he's obviously the leader. His wife cuts hair.
No,
Let me start
no.
getting my. Did you
No,
infiltrate?
no.
Did you infiltrate
No,
us?
you gotta
Brian,
sit down.
did we get infiltrated?
You have to
What the
sit down.
fuck,
No,
dude?
sit down. And listen to this. No, you have to sit down and listen to this.
When he's like, Donovy's a narc.
Yeah.
Brian Earl Spooner. What are you, a cop?
3 spoon engines.
No. Because
Dude, if you don't tell me what Hector's running right now,
she
I'm
goes,
gonna fuck you
she
up.
goes, my husband's Jace, a Fast Life Garage. I was like, that's cool.
Okay.
I
I don't know him,
what
but
the fuck
that's
that is. But how I guess it really kind of played out was we heard of the Last Stand somehow. I don't know how. And we're like, oh, it was me and my ex-girlfriend. And we went and I met you and Patrick Harley. Patrick Holly.
Yeah.
And Patrick Holly was like, hey, man, like this and that.
We call him Great Value Friends.
Oh, yeah. So I met him, and he
Name-
kind of brought
name
me.
brand. He's the Great Value.
He kind of brought me into this, and we met, and you talked to me a little bit. And you're like, at the time, I think it was at the Anvil. I was like, oh, yeah, I've seen that. And I was like, that's cool. And then I think it switched
heard that,
over
right?
to Reno's.
He's mine.
And it switched over to Reno's, and I showed it to Reno's. I was like, this is dope. I was like, cool, man. Like, hey, there's some baggers. Like, I've
Yeah.
been thinking about upgrading. And I bought my bagger.
Yeah.
And then that's when I met Doc. Josh.
Y'all have only known each other for like just over
No,
a year,
I
right?
feel like
Crazy.
yeah.
Crazy.
I really feel like
And that
you-
dude's been
You guys
older
are thick as
brother than me.
thieves.
Yeah,
And
dude,
we're-
hey.
and we work together.
Right.
Josh is the shit, but I feel like you really kind of skipped over how you met me, and I said, "Come on,
No, you didn't. No, I'm
you a
not
highlight,
downplaying.
dude.
Trey. I
I'm not
need you,
downplaying.
literally, Trey. I need
not.
you. I need to claim you on my
Jaden
resume.
wants credit,
I
right?
need to claim you on my tax return.
Well, I know.
Dependent.
Yeah.
But Jaden really brought it in.
he
It
is
was
under
like,
my.
hey,
He's under my coaching.
this is
tree.
who I am. I was like, oh, this is cool, man. Like,
Thank you. This is sport.
and then showed up to T-Bar Tuesday at Reno's. I was like, oh shit, kind of quiet. Seeing Jace, seeing friends, seeing everyone else, kind of meeting everyone. I think one of the first nights was the Fast Life Campout 4
The bike night.
bike night.
Wild.
Okay.
Really wild.
Seeing Big Trouble and
Yeah.
all them, and I saw Ben
Yeah.
on his turbo, and I was like, what
Ben,
in
Trouble,
the
Jeremy.
world is this?
There was a lot of motherfuckers there.
Yeah, and I was like,
Jetty.
this is a
Jetty.
lot.
So
yeah,
if that-
Jetty,
if that
seeing
was-
Big I mean, I was like,
So if that was camp out last year,
Yeah.
so less than a year ago, and you're smoking like 4 cigarettes at a time in Daytona
my
on Mark's
party
tab,
kicks,
like
yeah.
just wilding the
Dude,
fuck out, dude.
so-
with
We've had a hell of a
so
year,
doing
dude.
Sturgis,
telling
doing
you.
Daytona,
the MVP, Rookie of the Year, whatever you want to call
Rookie
it.
of the year. I'll give it to him. Him and Doc.
camp
we're
out
up
with
for it.
y'all, going to Houston Block Party, doing East Texas stuff. I mean,
Sturgis.
if this is not a family, I don't know what to tell you. Man.
I
This-
agree.
This
I
is
agree.
so
Much. Very
This
well
is-
said.
this
Yeah,
is-
Doc said, you know, like Doc took a while for me to come around to him. He kind of annoyed me at first.
Oh,
okay.
he
Everybody
knows,
knows
he knows it though, and I love that about
Yeah.
him. I respect
But
the shit out of that.
The after you know, I guess you ever just see somebody like that motherfucker annoys me. He's never said a thing to me. It's just he annoys me, kind of thing.
100%.
Yeah. Well, at Sturgis was like really the first. I mean, he was at the camp out, right? And then everybody said like Doc was like so helpful and cool and shit. I was like, man, I didn't get a chance to talk
He's
to him.
the fucking best
He
dude
is.
ever.
Oh, I love him.
So
Ever.
I'm getting to that point. I had to preface it with a little bit of shit talking. But yeah, at first it was just kind of tough. I mean, I guess it was hard for me because when we did our little trip to Sturgis, like me and Cody and we're and everybody else is part of our group of riders. Like we're so intertwined with how we do things that when you get someone else coming around suggesting things, it just kind of gets triggering, I guess.
Yeah,
you
it's
could
like,
get.
who the fuck are you? Kind
We
of
get like
dude,
set
get
in
in
our
line.
our
No
riding
offense, but
positions too.
Yeah, and we have a lot of places that you smash a lot of miles together. Like you get stuck. Like this, I sit here, Cody's there. You know, it's weird.
Right.
It's like Everybody does it,
That
right?
was the first. I think that was the first thing either you or Cody B said when y'all got off the bikes in South Dakota was like, it was mad weird to not see you in my mirror.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
I believe it because I think it's the first time ever that I was on a different wave or like coming in a different direction than y'all.
And so, that Sturgis took place, and Sturgis was the rough one for me because I had all that fucking magazine shit going on that was kind of bumming me out, and then my wife was not feeling it that year, and so it was a tough Sturgis to kind of be present.
Me and
so,
Jace walked back together.
Yeah.
And I was kind of starstruck, and I was like, all right.
Yeah, I was like, bro, I'll give you an autograph
fuck this
later.
up.
But no, it was just a rough Sturgis, but Doc over the then going to bike nights, and I'd give him shit. I'd get whiskey drunk and be an asshole and stuff like that, but he's persistent. I'm like, he really is a fucking good dude.
He's
and
a great guy.
I love Doc.
he provides a lot of he provides a service to us group of friends that none of us provide.
Yep.
Like he's unique in that. And so
That's the
to
strength
me,
of the group.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Strength of the
saying.
team.
It just,
Everybody has their value.
I will say this.
All in all, we don't deserve him.
Yeah.
I mean, truth be told, we
100%.
probably
We don't deserve fucking any of us.
Yeah,
That's the thing. We've said that before. We're such a group of kind of misfit toys. Isn't that a
yeah.
right?
We're all
Land
different
of
walks of
misfit
life.
toys, right? So if it wasn't for this, if it wasn't for the common denominator that is motorcycling and that's like the path that we're all leading, I don't know if like I'd fuck with you dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like in a weird way, like this has made us as strong as we are. The same way that military folks can relate, athletes can relate. I don't anything that has that type of camaraderie, anything at all. You don't have to be best friends. You don't have to be whatever. You have a common goal and you're reaching it with this group, right? And that's what we've been, and then we've grown upon that into what I refer to as family. Yeah, I really do think of it as is that goddamn Nat again?
Yeah,
I really
motherfucker's
do
been
think of it
chilling
as
here.
like a fucking family.
I've done a lot of growing up this past year.
I believe it.
And that's really thanks to y'all. It's been
Well,
a journey.
It's kind of a joke now in the chats, but like you leaned into like all the opportunity that honestly like our extended family provides. And our extended family is not just the guys here in town or the shops like Hang 'em High or Rebels Den or Justin or fucking
Market.
HTX Diner Crew. Like
Yeah.
our
It's a
extended family
nationwide
is
thing,
so massive nationwide.
It is.
So when you go to Daytona and you're one of the Texas boys, they, Trouble, all those guys out there are going to take care of you. They're going to make sure you're good. You know what I'm saying?
There's not one place I could think of that I could go to the state and not have a place to stay.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now. And that
How
is
trippy is that?
Absolutely insane. That
Super,
is
super
crazy.
That's the power of the internet, right?
if I'm
and that's
in a
also
bad
the power
spot-
of like good people.
Yeah. If I'm in a bad spot, I'm like, hey man, I broke down here. Oh hey man, I'm on the way with
Oh,
the truck.
fucking forget about it, dude.
Yeah.
You're-
I'm on the way, bro. Oh, okay, that's cool. But I'm also giving that back to you. You know, what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, hey brother, you need my truck? Go ahead. I don't
Open
care.
up your
You
entire
need my
firehouse
bike?
for
you
anybody.
need my firehouse?
It's a beautiful
Go
thing.
ahead.
Exactly.
I got you.
So I'm more than willing to give anything I have because you know it's going to come back in return because that's how you propel like the positivity that
Right.
this I would say the scene has because it is a lot of people that are you could say middle aged, right? 40 and below that have lived through kind of some bullshit and posturing and not being inclusive.
Yeah.
That now that we are
In a very
No-
exclusive world.
no, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody,
Motorcycling's hard to
nobody
get
wants
in.
anything but to be included.
It's
so to
easy
be able
to
to
finance.
be included.
It's easy to finance a bike, but it's hard to get a connection with people unless you kind of grew up in that field, right?
For
like
sure.
everybody here in some form or fashion had to go to a bike night and be vulnerable, make themselves known somehow or another, and let something grow naturally as opposed to like
Force it.
I mean, yeah, you could go to your local Harley Davidson bike night, right? And everybody there is on this. And like, hey, brother, what's those pipes? You know what I'm saying? Short shots, dude. Whatever. So But you go to the bike night, and I remember how awkward it was for everybody that came to the bike night originally. You know, I remember those fucking first 8 months we first met each other. You know what I mean? I remember when other guys would come along, because, I mean, you've said this a million times, and I think that you've kind of adjusted a little bit. It's like we do get full of acquaintances and friends and things like that, and it gets sometimes hard to, like, open up the door again and let people come in and be a part of, like, your life, right? Because I've always said, like, look, I'm one of those dudes that want to give everybody so much, but I only have so much space, right? And so when some people start to more or less wear out their welcome, or they're not putting food back on the table for us all to enjoy, then I'm more open-minded to letting people come in and fill that void that so-and-so had the opportunity, but they're squandering it for the rest of us. You know what I'm saying? Right. But
I do.
I'm a little bit more cutthroat when that shit is, you know, about friends and about commitments and effort, because I feel like, you know, I've always been like this, and it's maybe a good trait or a bad trait. I'm willing to accept either one, but like, I cannot tell you enough how much, like, the analogy of, look, if this is a table us as friends eat off of, don't fucking take anything off of it unless you're putting something back on, whether that's your time, attention, energy, something. You might not be able to do it sometimes, and that's the time you're taking, but make sure that you replenish that motherfucker.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
I think that's a great analogy. I think everybody can relate to that, right? But it's one of those things, too, and I think one of the things that you say you're cutthroat about, and that's probably just kind of your mindset, right? Because you're in the opinion of, you know, if it doesn't work out here, just like it didn't work out, or like you move past previous groups or whatever, there's going to be a next one. So no matter what, I'm going to keep riding this, and whoever's going to be with me is going to be with me. And I can respect that. And the way that I look at it is because we do relationships differently, and that's one of the great strengths and differences between us, right? The way I approach it is if I have, call it 10, right? 10's my max. Yeah. I'm going to give all 10 everything I got. Every fucking thing I got. I'm not going to go, I'm going to give 9.5 and this dude gets like bullshit. Nope. If you're on it, I'm giving it to you. Yeah. But like, if it's not reciprocated, I can't give you everything if you're not giving back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I will do anything it takes for those that are willing to give me everything. So a good analogy. So you guys, Chris came out, my childhood friend. We grew up together. Yep. He came out to camp out. He was helpful with us for sure. He hit me up on Monday. He goes, "Hey man, I want a bike like y'all's." And he has a nice twin cam street glide. You know what I mean? Does. He's like, "I want a bike like yours." Just change the bars.
I was like, "Yeah, just change the bars, shorten the bags." I gave him I said, "Hey, go check out Proper Baggers. Yeah. Look at all those bikes, find the kind of stuff you like, and then I'll help you find the parts." Yeah. But we have such history, and we were in a bike club together. Yep. But I'm going to tell you like this, the energy that we have to put into having this great world that we live is harder than all my friends that were in my bike club ever put in, even what I put into the bike club. So as much as I would love for him to be a part of this, it's not, you know, I've always made that joke like, hey, dude, if you got softball practice, you know what I mean? And I haven't seen you for a month, like, bro, if you wanted to be on this level with us, you know, it's going to be tough, you know? I'm not saying don't have all these other hobbies or don't have a whole life, but if you can't make time and prioritize to be a part of this group and do the things we're doing and help perpetuate all the things we do, because we're not just a group that does this stuff together. We're a group that inspires people across the fucking country to ride bikes and come to places. There's more responsibility on our backs as riders than everybody else in other parts of this Dallas-Fort Worth place, right? So with that extra responsibility, there's more expectation from me to everybody that's going to be a part of this, right? And everybody here meets it. We all come together. We do these podcasts and talk about our thoughts, our travels, our journeys. Y'all help me out with this podcast. The campouts is what it is, not because of me. It's because of y'all. It's because of us as a collective group. Of this motherfucker showing up and showing out, and East Texas showing up and showing out, and now Big Trouble and Justin, and it's a fucking extended family, right? Absolutely. So many people are coming to eat off the table now, and I just want everybody to know there's plenty of food. Just fucking go shoot something once in a while and throw something back on the table for us to eat. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And you know, with
Man, I think that's the people, all the people that came from over 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
And then put out the reels and then went over above to go, this was fun. You know how many times I saw
Absolutely.
fuck Sturgis, fuck a rally, fuck a bike show?
Yeah.
This is what's up.
Right.
Man, I feel like that is people, maybe I'm naive on it, but the third year in a row, you guys have been to the family, like that shit, like it's, man, I feel like they're doing it. I feel like it's to the point where people do, like, they don't want to just eat off of it. They want to put back on it because
Absolutely.
the bigger you get, the bigger it is. And yeah, it may be hard to do it locally as far as find 10 solid dudes.
Yeah.
But guess what, dude? You start expanding that out wide, and man, I'll lay down some miles to find some motherfuckers like that are
Yeah. I told-
about it, that are 100% about it. And when you expand the whole network nationwide, fucking forget about it. I mean, this weekend was nothing more than a showcase of that. That you've got what, 1,000 dudes?
Yeah.
5? You got 500 to 1,000 dudes that are about it. Fucking
Yeah.
sponsorships. Fuck
Yeah.
this. Fuck this. This isn't.
Tell me you can't find a couch somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because
Dude,
they're
tell me,
going to line it
and
out.
the same thing is, if you don't already know, if you're watching this, downtown Dallas, Texas, always fucking open. Oh, and if I can't fucking host y'all, I'll get you a fucking Airbnb. I'll get you a hotel. But
There you go.
that's the way I feel. Yeah,
Using a
you got the
Booze Trace
firehouse. That's what I mean.
It's
It's
firehouse, baby. Learn some things.
to a positive point of what you're saying is I feel like locally, if it's not there, the bigger you get, dude, they're there.
Yeah.
And it's
Absolutely
it's there.
I love it too. It's, to me, outside of like my romantic relationship, it is the most beautiful thing I have in life.
Yeah.
I can't even phrase it or stress it any greater than it is as great as we make it sound. You know what I'm saying? It's not just lip service. It's not just bullshit. It is authentic connectivity that we all have and we all contribute to, and I wouldn't trade it for a
Yeah,
goddamn
it's fucking
thing.
awesome, man.
I could call anyone. Millhouse.
Yep.
Justin Kelly, Doc, you,
Yep.
Yeah.
Jaden. We could talk things not motorcycle related.
Yep.
Hey man,
All day.
I'm having a bad day.
Yeah, that I had a hard time with that to camp out.
Right.
What?
Dude, I don't know. I
Talking
mean, I want to.
non-moto?
I got to apologize to everybody I was awkward with when they were kind of coming up to me and talking. Yeah, I don't know. I guess on a podcast, like I'll fucking talk for 6 hours straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm good with that. But bless his heart, this dude came and sat in our tent, and I'm not gonna say who it is or anything like that. But he sat in my tent, and he was like, "Hey, can I sit down?" I was like, "Yeah, just don't be weird, man." And
Okay.
fucking, he was weird, dude. He's like, "Hey, man." It was super quiet. We were all just chilling. He's like, "So, how'd you get into painting?" And I'm like, "Bro,
Damn.
like that's a fucking loaded. That's a
deep
deep
question.
question,
Time
man.
and a
Like,
place.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, man. Like I've just been doing it my whole life, man. Like I try,
Right.
you know what? Honestly, it's not his fault.
No,
Honestly,
at
that
all.
question, depending on the circumstances, will depend on the type of answer I would put out there, right? And he's a solid dude. He's a big help to all this stuff. I'm just giving him a hard time, but it's just one of those things where I get it. It's kind of hard sometimes to.
You got to break the ice some way, some.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel
what's
like
what's the appropriate question to ask, right? It's
that's the
it's
problem
So
is I don't-
fucking hard. Nobody,
Yeah.
you don't know because it's mood, it's vibe, it's
I feel like
it's
I
how
got
you
the
feel
luck
at the
of draw,
moment.
man.
What's that?
I feel like I got the luck of draw entering all this.
Well, what I usually tell people is like, look, because of I guess I guess I do have a little bit of social anxiety myself, like getting around people and being like that's why I'm not on the mic. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have some things to say, but I couldn't do what you did the whole time, like speaking at the camp out. So it's one of those things. Like I don't necessarily do well with that. So for me, like whenever. I feel like when I meet somebody that I really want to talk to or I have some kind of admiration for or whatever, I feel like the shorter and sweeter I am, like just, hey man, fucking love what you do. Just want to say I follow you. I love all your shit.
Yeah.
Keep rocking and then move on. Instead of making it, because then they can say, oh man, thank you, cool. And they don't have to fill that with like, hey man, thank you. So, what'd you like about me?
Yeah.
Or like, how do you carry that conversation on? It gets kind of weird. And I'm overthinking it 100%. But
Agreed.
also, like I said, I understand how awkward it can be to be that for somebody. I mean, there are certain times though, like if I get to bike night early and you're there early, like I'll shoot the shit with you 100%. Like I'm not unapproachable.
Right.
There's certain places it's weird.
It's the human, dude. It's we all have that. There's no fucking book on how to do this, right? Just like there's no book on how to raise a kid or love somebody or what. You have to just kind of find your path and find your vibe and feel how it is. And sometimes you have to take 2 steps forward to go 1 step back or whatever it is, right?
Yeah,
I feel like the key to us in so many ways, the key to a lot of the folks that vibe with us are it's consistency, persistency. If you come once and you didn't have the greatest interaction, right? I cannot promise you that we are going to fucking shake up the world the first time we talk. But what I can promise you is that if you keep showing up, if you keep ending up in front of my face, or I keep ending up in front of yours, or whatever, then there's going to be a time where we break down some of these barriers, some of these walls. And that's the beauty in it to me, because I don't want to meet you once. I don't want to meet you once. I want to meet you 10 times. I want to meet you 20 times.
Yeah.
I want to get more. I'm the depth guy. I definitely am. I want to get deep into a conversation with you.
And that's the right time, right place kind of situation.
It is the right time, right place. I can't do it everywhere, but when I do it, you'll know that it's authentic and real.
What I would say is an analogy to that, or to add to what you just said, I feel like music is a good thing to say, because like say a popular song comes out, right? And when it comes out, everybody's into it. You're like, I don't know if I care for it, but then you finally you're in the right place, right time. You hear it's the right setting. You're like, this fucks, dude.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's like it's about consistency. You hear it enough. The new Tahoe comes out. It looks like shit, but you keep sitting on the road. Next thing you know, you're like, I guess I like it.
It's looking better. Exactly.
So it's consistency. That's how this podcast was good. It wasn't because I came out the gate as a great podcaster, and I'm still not great now, but I'm fucking here every goddamn week. Mm-hmm. So that's how it works,
That's how a lot
people
of
that go to bike night,
wives are, relationships are. It's very rare that you have that love at first sight shit, right? The majority of people, it's effort and consistency and finding what those common things are. You have to keep going with it, and it's no different. This is not different than a romantic relationship versus family versus any other relationship. It is a relationship, just like at work, right?
Yeah.
What you put into it is oftentimes what you get out of it. If you put in one interaction, it's a dog shit interaction, you cannot be surprised that you didn't receive some great feedback from it. Or you know what I'm saying? You really have to be cognizant of the fact that this is no different than anything else. This just happens to be all circumvented around motorcycles, and that's our common denominator. It's always going to be that, and you have to run with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of great things, man. But I guess we should completely move on to the actual trip, and
Because I'm old.
go Pete.
Sorry for the tangent, guys. Sorry for the tangent.
But anyway, so this trip, I think we're essentially doing a.
Have you Fast Life Jace? Have you ever been to the Pacific Northwest in any capacity?
No, I have not. Furthest north I've been is Bodega Bay.
Was just NorCal?
In California, Bodega Bay, but then of course we went to.
That's NorCal, right?
Yes, NorCal. Furthest north I've ever been is definitely Maine, I believe.
Oh, I'm talking about West Coast, though.
West Coast, though, I think, or even West period, I think the most north was when we went to Red Lodge.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, this trip is scheduled to be one of the longest trips we've done. It's essentially 18 days.
I've been to Seattle one time.
You flew, though, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Jacob went out there once.
Yeah, flew in. Jacob and Angela did a couples weekend a year, maybe 2 years ago.
I don't even think we're going to Seattle, though.
I was. We're not.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that's my only experience up there. I flew in one time.
I think probably Spokane's going to be the furthest north that we go on this situation.
Spokane is the setting of the most recent Red Dawn iteration.
Oh, for real?
The remake of Red Dawn.
Nice.
Yeah, they're in Spokane.
Well, I was telling James earlier, so I guess I'll burst the bubble with you and everybody else. So it's looking like the 15th, Twin Falls. Once we leave Twin Falls, I'm going to probably head back to California from there.
You already told me this.
I did.
I want to make sure that people know I'm not some.
You're also privy to
Yeah,
that
I'm not
prior
some fucking.
information.
Yeah, this makes me feel like a fucking whore or something. Like I knew about
Well,
this shit before.
Well, anyway, it's been like a thing I've been talking about doing, but it's kind of like starting to look more like
No, I'm
a
happy for you, dude. Go to Born Free.
It's really not about going to Born Free. It's about doing podcasts up and down the coast from NorCal all the way to San Diego, and then catching some of Born Free and then coming home. As you guys know, like with Sturgis, and then getting bikes and things painted for Sturgis is a shit show, but it's also a good time for me to make money. So doing this will give me a complete month to focus on work, and I'll have enough podcasts to put out, meet my quotas, and focus on work for a whole month to get ready for Sturgis. But
Because you'll be on the road basically June.
yeah, because I
And then
mean,
you'll
even
really
if I
be freed up in July.
even if I stayed on the road and just finished up with you guys, I'd be coming home to a very, roughly the end of the month. I mean, like within 10 days of the end of the month. So, and trying to come up with 5 podcasts in 10 days in Dallas is going to be
rush.
tough.
Yeah,
and they're not going to be they might be some good bangers, but they probably might be the quality that I could get if I just go stay on the road. So
For sure.
The other thing I was telling James
How do
is
you think
like,
he's gonna do a month on the road?
yeah,
Straight. You know this boy.
I'm usually ready to go home after
He's
about
ready to go home after about 7 to 10 days. He's like, I need some pussy. I need to go home now.
Yeah.
He's gonna be on there for like 20 something days.
I don't even want to
I
mention.
can't
it.
wait to see.
I don't even want to mention it because I'll probably it's probably not an option. But I technically, my bills are paid through July.
Oh, okay then.
So I might be one of those like,
Okay,
hey, dude,
then.
let's go. Come on. Jacob,
I wanna see you
Jacob, are we
hoes.
good for another week or two?
wanna
we'll
see
square
you.
up after the fact.
yeah.
Bro. Hell yeah.
For me, like, there's two things at play, right? I told James this earlier. I've always fantasized about the whole riding and be on the road for a month kind of thing, because I've podcast with plenty of people that's done it, right? And I kind of want to do it for the experience as well as to say I've done it and I love it, or I've done it and it's not for me, right? I've done a month on the road, and you know what?
28 days?
28 days is what it is.
There you go.
So
Under the sun?
There you go, dude.
28 days in the sun.
Word?
I'm breaking the.
You going full circle on this beat.
29.
Let's do 29.
29 fucking weasels.
Change it up.
Is he really getting weasel shirts done?
Weasel Terry.
Who is?
Who's our MVP?
Who's the weasel fucking king? Who's the weasel president?
I do,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, who's our president?
Enough said. Enough said.
But
The motherfucker hosts the Wi-Fi goes out. Cody's so mad. Just so y'all know,
It's
Cody,
not the same. It's not the same. I
Cody
fucking
B's-
love this man, but
Cody
it's not
B's
the
so
same.
mad that he's not here that he said earlier, I hope the fucking Wi-Fi goes out.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Dead ass he did.
yeah,
I
so
love him so much.
not to take away from it, because I definitely want. I mean, we're doing a lot of firsts on this trip together.
Yeah. A lot.
I kind of picked this place because it would be the end of the firsts. Because after this, it
You're
basically going
cycling
from
back through.
yeah, it would basically be going from we'd be doing Twin Falls to Salt Lake, which I'm still on the
Utah,
fence to go to
Colorado.
Salt Lake because I would love to see Sax.
Sax, yeah.
And I wouldn't mind doing a podcast with that Bad Wolf dude that's out there. You know what I mean? Because he's
Bet.
done a lot of that
Is
music
he actually
stuff.
staying there? Or?
He lives there. He's
Okay.
based out of there. So I might try to work that out, and if that's the case, I might go ahead and go to Salt Lake.
For sure.
Do that podcast, and I definitely want to get some shots on my bike at Salt Flats again. I would love to do that photo again. And if we left Twin Falls, I would go out of my way to go do that photo again and then break off from that spot. I would be okay with that if
feel
y'all
that.
wanted to do it.
I just am not staying in Wendover. I'll tell you that.
No,
goddamn much.
Salt Lake for
Never
Salt
again
Lake.
in my life.
But yeah. So I mean, let's talk about this trip. So
Let's do it.
day one, day one is
when are we
changed.
leaving?
Day
When are we
one is
leaving?
changed. So
We're leaving.
All right, Trey, we're good.
We're not leaving on Thursday, right?
actually, I think most of us are leaving on Thursday. So
Yeah.
the original plan was to leave Dallas June 3rd, which I believe is a Friday.
June 3rd is a Friday.
It was to leave Friday, and we were going to do 971 miles to Mexican Hat, Utah. Which, if you guys listen to this podcast, you know that is right where Monument Valley is. So that's a good thing. But we drunkenly I think when we talked about this in the last podcast when we did the Campout podcast, we decided to make the meet spot instead of Dallas. We'll make the meet spot for East Texas and Dallas in Amarillo, which cuts 350 miles out of that mix, so it turns it into a nice 630-mile trip for a day.
Bada bing.
So, and I mean, I think it'd be cool to do Amarillo because I've never stayed in Amarillo. It's some place that I pass through so much, but it would be nice to start from there. And I think we were looking at maybe staying at that fucking
Y'all want to stay at the steakhouse?
the steakhouse. Yeah.
The Texas Playboy has something to say.
What do you guys say?
Your boys from West Texas, baby. If you do, get
We
a
saw
chance-
the talent from West Texas at the camp house. We're gonna leave it at that.
No comment on that one. If you do get a chance to ride to Powder Canyon,
I'm gonna do that.
do it.
So
Because it's I think if they let you ride through there, it's way cheaper than just
For what?
staying for the
Powder?
night.
yeah,
I've already
Yeah.
been there this year, bro.
I haven't.
Yeah. You get
So my
some
daughter's
photos.
in
No, it's
Lawton,
dope. It's dope.
and I think I might leave. Lawton, Oklahoma. So I might leave.
Okay.
If everything smooths out and I get everything done in time, I might leave Wednesday
It's dope.
and try to go
Please check it out.
stay the night at my daughter's house in Lawton and just hang out with her and her
Yeah.
boyfriend.
And you're going to come back?
No, and then I'll just leave from there and go to. I'll go do. I want to do some sightseeing in between. Like,
Okay.
I'm into all the Indian shit,
Yeah, no,
all the
yeah.
Comanche stuff. So like, in Lawton, like a little bit east or west of that is where.
The mound? The hill?
No, it's
There you're
fucking.
talking
Goddamn, what's his fucking name? Goddamn.
Quanah Parker?
Quanah Parker's house, Starlight or something is there still. It's up. It's in Cache, Oklahoma.
Okay.
So I wouldn't mind going to check that out. And then Medicine Park, which is Medicine Mountain or whatever, right there.
Yeah.
There's a base right there as well. I took my son there. I wouldn't mind riding up it, taking some shots, and then just kind of fucking seeing this southwestern part of Oklahoma that honestly I have no reason to ever ride through it, but I want to fucking just do it and see what it's like, and maybe there's a fucking gym of something there. You know?
Not too far.
You going to
south
meet
of
us on
there
the road or
is-
you going to meet us in fucking Utah?
I'm gonna meet you because this is before we even get to Amarillo.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
bet. So you're
Not
coming
too
Amarillo.
far south of there is 460's Ranch, which is 1886.
Where's that at?
South of there, it's east of Amarillo.
East of Amarillo.
Yeah, that's where 1886 is filmed.
Okay.
So
Okay.
a little bit of history out there.
Okay.
That you probably want to partake and take a couple photos in.
Okay.
And then if you do a little rip through Powder Canyon, you'll find a lot of good history down there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty good stuff.
Did you start reading that book again? Is that what you said? You were looking at the fucking Empire of the Summer Moon book again?
I started re-listening to it.
Re-listening to it, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
fucking
This
awesome.
was when it was working. So I had to listen to it. I had to listen to it in a couple weeks.
No, I was just trying to make it like because I haven't seen my daughter in a while, and I would love to hang out with her.
That fucking cunt from HR attacked me like a Comanche, bro.
Yeah, keep going.
But yeah, I thought I would meet all the. I thought if we all kind of like
Severance, I can't do anything now.
we all linked up in Amarillo, it would be a good spot. And then from there, instead of us blasting the Mexican Hat, we have the option of going to ride some more scenic roads to get there.
Yeah.
And essentially still enjoy more of the riding, but still get there at a decent time. I mean, there's nothing to do there.
6 gas stops in a day is just right.
This
Just
is going to
nice.
sound
He's
oddly nerdy.
He's got a joke.
Oddly nerdy. But the Rick Husband Airport out there has a really good space museum
Where at?
in Amarillo. The Rick Husband Airport out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's named after the Challenger pilot that died, blew up. Is the secondary landing zone for a NASA space
Get your shit together.
You're
dude.
doing, hey,
shuttle?
you're doing great, dude.
shuttle landing zone because
Okay.
it's one of the longest airports.
Interesting.
So, damn, that's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
man.
want to stop, but that's dope to know.
It's if you ever get a chance. To
I
stop
mean,
out
we
there,
can
it's
be
pretty
all
cool.
the way.
I can't wait to
Instagramming
drop
and go
by.
Cadillac Ranch.
But
We'll be on
also,
the
Is that the
Lexus
thing
go,
Trey talked
hey,
about?
is this thing Trey talking about? Yeah, it looks fucking
There it
stupid
goes,
as
hey.
fuck.
but you know, yeah. But you ever heard of a
Bet you
Bell
won't do a burnout on
helicopters
them.
and stuff?
Yeah.
They're all built out there.
Oh, they are? Okay.
It's pretty cool. It's like crazy to see all that cool stuff, but they have a lot of good history there.
We're also going through the middle of Nevada, so we'll probably be able to maybe
We're
stop
going,
and
we're going to 51, boy.
We're going to 51,
Area
brother.
51,
Yeah.
little skunk works, huh?
Bet.
We're storming the gates.
This biker style. If you want to fucking storm the gates with us, bro,
Yeah, fuck
link
it.
up. Tell them, your thoughts of Mexican Hat, the whole area. You've driven through it last year. I'm going to go pee, fill this void with some greatness.
So I personally, I dig Mexican Hat just for what it is. So it's a super small town that is, I think it's literally 20 miles away from the monument. From why am I drawing a blank? Monument Valley. And there's this little. So when we went on our very, very, very first trip, we camped in Monument Valley, and basically after the morning we woke up, we packed up our shit, we took some photos, and then we started moving out of the park area, right? And 20 miles down the road is this little. It's a hotel / restaurant bar, right? All in one space, and it's right in Mexican Hat, and it's called. You're gonna fuck me up right now. What's it called?
I wasn't on the trip.
No, it is.
It's probably a cool name though.
It is.
The Mexican Hat Inn.
Sorry, I'll look it up and I'll let y'all know. But it's. I've been there a couple times now. San Juan. It's right on the side of the river, which is the San Juan River. Yes, we ate there when we went there originally, and I stayed there. Myself and Brittany, we stayed there when we did our Southwest road trip 2 years ago now. But the great part about it is it is literally a mom and pop hotel and restaurant style deal, and to me it is like when you choose to go there, you're directly impacting these people that stay there, and the commerce out there is basically non-fucking existent. It is all tourism. It is everybody that's coming out to see Monument Valley, and that's fucking it. So when I went out there 2 years ago in the middle of the pandemic, they had shut their doors for the first time in, I want to say it was like 43 years or some shit like that, for like 3 months. And it was because the tourism had faded off. There was no international travel, anything. So for us to be able to go there, we made a conscious choice to put ourselves in position to see Monument Valley in the morning, but also to continue to support businesses like that, because that's, quite frankly, that's what we're all about. And that's, if we're traveling, that's what we should all do.
That spot though, it has a cool vibe. It's tucked right there in the canyon. Like it's right at the corner of a road where like the road cuts left and goes across the river, and this hotel / restaurant bar is right there. And on those reservations, it's hard to find alcohol, so I feel like we're gonna have to like cop a bottle somewhere and just bring it with us. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to that night. I mean, it's gonna be the first night.
Kyle can hold a bottle of whiskey in his anus. I hope he does. Just a heads
It'll
up.
be the first like night on the trip, and it's not like in a town where we're gonna go rage. Yep. It's not Chattanooga.
Nothing but us.
So I feel like some bottles of whiskey or vodka or whatever, and some shooters with it, like sitting out there on the fucking merry-go-round on the side of the building, just shooting the shit. I'm looking forward to that.
I am too.
BA.
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude. This is a rider's trip. If y'all fuck around and get messed up sideways.
No, that's you're talking about on a night hanging out, right?
Yeah.
Like under the stars? Bro, come on.
Yeah, stars, they're going to be fucking retarded there too. So, but yeah, so that first night, technically the first night of us being on the road together as a group, we'll be staying in Mexican Hat. And then we're leaving Mexican Hat, and we got about a 337 mile ride. We're going to be going through Page, Arizona, and we're going to be landing in Cedar City, Utah, just north, I believe, of the, what is that? What is those things right there? It's like we skipped it that one year we were trying to ride through there. It's like, fuck. Hold on, I should be having a map right here.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do here.
It's like in southwest Utah. There's some like mountainous things where there's some routes you can go through it. When we say this name, you're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, dumbass, for sure." Yeah.
Oh, Arches?
No,
Is that what
that's
we're talking
Moab.
Okay.
So we're way further. It's by St. George. There's a Zion National Park.
Yeah.
It's Zion. So we're going to be staying just north of Zion, I believe. Cedar City, because we're going to be taking 56 across the desert of, basically the desert of Utah and fucking Nevada there, which we're going to be going through smack dab in the middle of Nevada. Which strangely,
I'm excited about it.
I'm excited about that.
Yep.
Like I hated going across. What was it? 80. Is that? I believe it's 80 across from Reno to Wendover, Salt Lake. That was just grueling. But it's like when you're on a road and there's nothing. It's like I can enjoy nothing as long as I'm not getting fucking like hounded by people driving fast because they want to get somewhere. Even though we're usually driving fast too, but it's like. When you're on a 2-lane highway, you just kind of like back it up a little bit and enjoy it. When you're on the interstate and there's 18-wheelers everywhere and there's fucking RVs and shit, you're just like I got to pass them and pass them and pass them, pass them. You know what I mean?
I love being on the roads less traveled.
Yeah. I want to see shit.
So much fun that comes with that, especially with like when we end up in some of these remote spaces, which is where we'll be. And it's literally just us.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talked about that last year, right? So when we were going to New York, all the way up through the East Coast, there's so many people and there's so many cities. Everything's jammed in, right? We found very, very little solitude of just us on the road, right? There was always fucking people. There was always fucking something, right? I'm so looking forward to pushing west because we're gonna catch one of those 100-mile stretches where we don't see a fucking thing other than these 8 dudes.
I feel like Rhode
and
Island,
I dig that.
I feel like we had some of the real northern stuff, like Maine and Rhode Island, where we
you had to get all the way out there.
But yeah. As far as
I love it. That to me is the beauty of the West because it's so much big land.
Yeah.
It's so much big land, and like the cities there's such vast spaces between them. I fucking dig it. I can't wait.
It'll no doubt
wait.
be way better this year.
Yeah, so I mean that's the point. Get to Cedar City, Utah, and from Cedar City, the goal is to smash across just the rest of Utah and Nevada, and we're going to be landing in Mammoth, which will be our first camping night.
First time.
Yep. And I'm pretty excited because I haven't really done much of the eastern slope of the Sierras and Yosemite out there. So this provides a great opportunity to kind of see some shit that I've never ridden and
Northeast
seen.
California. It's a conscious choice to go there.
Yeah, it's not on the way to shit.
No.
So it's on the way to like Pacific Northwest for us, but that's it. Craig was driving through there last year, and he was talking about how beautiful it was, and of course the 2-lane life dudes do it all the time. They go to Mammoth, they go to a lot of things over there, and there's just so much cool shit like tucked away. There's lots of movies that get filmed out there, shit like that where I'd be down to just see some of that shit.
Sea fighters that go up there to train. There's supercross motocross riders. Just to name Mammoth. I don't have to look it up on the map. Just to name Mammoth. I'm stoked to be able to say, I rode my fucking motorcycle there and I stayed a night there. Gang, dude.
That's pretty dope.
All the way.
I'm kind of curious, how do y'all pack for y'all's trip?
My pack out's way different than the other guys because I have so much more. I got camera gear, I got podcast gear.
Right.
So I have the tour pack now, which essentially is all electronics.
Okay.
And then because we're camping on this trip, see, last year when we went to Maine, we didn't camp at all.
It was a hotel trip.
We hoteled the whole time, so it was really just a bunch of I'm interested to see. Cody, Big Will Cody, has always been unique because he'll be on a bike trip for 2 weeks, and he'll be jam packed with 2 Sport Glide bags and no sissy
It looks
bar.
like he's going.
That's how
it looks like he's going to the bar.
Yeah.
Gnarly, dude.
Honestly, have no docking system right now has been very interesting of how I've been planning my trips and how I'm going to do things. Because I came into the campout, just 2 saddlebags. That's it. Nothing
that's
else.
a weekend trip though. So.
Yeah. But it still made me think of, hey, don't overdo it.
So there's 2 things there's 2 factors. For one, we don't have a layover anywhere. So anybody that wants to do laundry, they're kind of shit out of luck because let's just say that we get to an area where we can do laundry.
Right.
I mean, we have no layovers, but we have a lot shorter days
Right.
than we normally do. Like sometimes we'll have a layover, but then the next day's 350, and then we have a layover, and the next day's 400. And like it's like 150, 250, 300, maybe 400, but it's not. So when you have 8 dudes that finally, you know, after you've been on the road for 7-8 days, you want to fucking do some laundry. We don't have a layover anywhere, and we have to. And by the time we're 8 days into it, we're going to be either on the coast of fucking Oregon, which we'll get to in a second, or we'll be in the middle of fucking nowhere. You know what I mean?
A little brisk might be a total different change.
Yeah.
Just curious what your pack code is, and
So like I said, mine, you know,
Dragon
real
gear.
quick, like because they're going to be camping involved in this. I have my left saddlebag will be full of like my tent, my sleeping bag, and I have a little small pillow that compresses, and a sleeping bag that compresses, and then I'll put tools and other like maybe an extra pair of like Vans slip-ons or some shit like that in there, you know. And then one bag will be full of like I use compression bags from Peak Designs, that is also a camera bag company, so that helps me out. But I have one bag that will compress like I'll probably take. So I'm doing nothing but Levi's like chino pants. They're like kind of like Dickies, essentially, because I can pack those tighter and I can put more of those. So I'm gonna take like 4 pairs of those and like 1 pair of jeans, right? So I want to wear jeans one day,
right.
So that'll be in my pants, and then underwear and socks. Like I'm still on that thing where like I kind of want to just.
You're a disposable guy.
I wouldn't mind being disposable on the underwear and socks, where I'm like I'll get some cheaper shit. Like every day in the summertime, I need those fucking nutsack holders, right? Those little pouches and shit.
Yeah.
Like, but if I'm on the bike all day, I'll fucking get some N1 shit from fucking Walmart and toss that shit in the campsite and don't give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
T-shirts is a different thing. I think I'm gonna, being that we're gonna be in the desert more. I actually just was it Fresh Clean Tees or some shit that's on like the internet all the time. I just ordered a long sleeve from them to see what it's like, see if it fits good, and if it does fit good, I'm probably gonna order like 3 or 4 of them just so I can have like some long sleeve T-shirts to wear. So I'm not. So I have like airflow through it, but I'm not getting burnt while we're going through all this desert because we're going to be in the desert quite a bit. So
That's a challenge for sure.
yeah. There's a challenge in this trip. I mean, a challenge in packing, challenge in things. And like I said, I still have my camera, my laptop. I got 4 microphones. It's a smaller device than that to record podcasts.
Right.
But I have a whole like normal tour pack that literally is full of tripod, camera, podcast equipment, laptop, iPad, like light stands, all this shit. I have so much stuff to take.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I'll probably throw a rain suit, and then on top of that, I'll probably put an extra hoodie or something.
You better. You better this fucking year.
Yeah, I ain't fucking around with no rain suits anymore.
This is one of those things too, and we spoke about this actually from our very first trip, because when you change elevations like we will when you push west and you go from different territories, like we'll be pushing into Mammoth in early June to the point where there's a chance, there's a good chance, quite frankly, that there might be some fucking snow on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So like you have to be able to go from, I think when we went west last time, we went from as low as 30 to as high as like 85, 90, right?
Yeah.
Actually upper 90s when we were pushing back through the desert, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a 70-degree temperature swing, and you have to pack it all out on one bike in one pack.
When we left Vegas, it was 100 degrees.
That's what I'm
sure.
saying.
Yeah.
And when we got up to the top of Pikes Peak, when we got up to the top of Pikes Peak, it was 30 degrees. Yeah. So no, it is a challenge. It's a very big challenge.
It's not just a challenge on your body.
It's a mental thing.
It's a mental thing.
Big mental thing.
Well, that's kind of the fun. Like when you're trying to pack out for a trip, I mean, it's kind of like trial and error. It's like, I might need this, I might need this, I might need this. So you pack it out and you figure out how to stuff it on your bike and make your bike feel like you're not overpacked, but you got everything you need. Right. Like it's a weird satisfaction of planning that shit and putting it together, putting it on the bike and be like, okay, I got my life right here.
It's a weird puzzle. Yeah. It's a weird puzzle. You're like, what do I really need and what do I don't need, and how am I going to...
So we all do this. The first time we go on a big trip like this, we all overpack.
Talk to Cody B. That is the beautiful thing about where his pack out is now. versus where he first started. It's a trip because first time out, right? Everybody overpacks. You bring too much shit, and he's down to the point where he's lean and mean, and he's barely got anything on his bike, and that's like
Motherfucker still matches and looks good every time. Like when pictures
For
get
sure.
taken or when we go out
For
somewhere,
sure.
always looks fucking good.
Yeah.
He had his
It ain't
shit dialed
fair.
in. He
It
be-
ain't fair.
Every day he would pull out a fresh Dixon with matching fucking Converses to go with his Dixon. Like, bro, how many shoes did you bring on this trip?
How'd you get them fitting in there? How'd you do that?
Well, here's my thing: is I've had the
Dickies
same.
fold up nice and tight though.
I invested in a pack out when we first started doing this in 2018, 19. And I'm still on the same motorcycle. Fortunately, I'm still doing the same stuff. My pack out is still the same. The manner in which I pack it is different, but I still run the same equipment, right? It just makes sense. It doesn't make sense to just totally reinvent it. I'm just running it and rocking it.
Yeah.
And but to me it works. It doesn't necessarily might not be the most aesthetically pleasing thing. I still run a full sissy bar on the back, and I pack it front and rear. I got the rear gate too, so and it works perfectly for me. But at the same time, like I know if I were to say I flip up into a road glider, an adventure bike, or something like that, like my pack out will be different.
Right.
So I'm owning it for what I have it as right now, and I understand that my future may be different.
Yeah. What about a Dragon? Dragon's changed a couple bikes. How's your pack out changed?
I want to hold on, just take a quick second. This Harley Davidson, the Marlboro Man, I finally watched it today.
Yes, you did.
One of the dumbest fucking movies. There's a couple cool bike scenes, but overall, one of the just dumbest ass movies I've ever seen.
You don't say that, dude.
As far as like the plot, the writing,
When it came out,
I'm sure-
this is Terminator era.
okay.
Movies,
When it came
right?
out, maybe cool. But
It
yeah.
wasn't fucking like Avatar, Titanic
Oh,
era.
dude, I identify with Don Johnson so much. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. But there was so much I was like, man, this is a dumb ass movie.
It's got to be appealing to like people that like, I don't know, like movies that Roadhouse, dude. That's Roadhouse on
Roadhouse.
motorcycles, dude.
Yeah,
straight up.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Patrick Swayze.
you seen it or you just?
I'm a
No,
Grinch.
I'm. Hey.
Okay.
So we're
Most people
I
your
might be
age,
young,
yeah.
but
The pack out, I'm a classic overpacker, but this year I sort of got, I'm underpacking. I'm doing it like, he said he's bringing 4 or 5. Dude, I'm bringing one pair of jeans with one backup.
Yeah.
I'll have my whatever
Warmer,
whatever
whatever.
the new name is. I'll have one pack of the wind gear, the wind shirt, wind pants.
Okay.
I'll bring a rain suit, and man, I'm bringing a couple. See, that's where I struggle. So I'm like, all right, well, if we cool take a cool picture, I want to have a cool T-shirt kind of thing. But man, I think for the most part, I'm just gonna wear throwaway T-shirts. I try to recycle I've got socks and underwear that they've been in the closet a couple years. Go on a trip like this, get rid of those motherfuckers. Buy new ones when you get back.
I hear.
Man, I'm trying to bring like maybe 2 nice T-shirts.
Yeah.
And then the rest, they're just gonna be riding and
hear
throw
that.
them away.
This.
I got. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, you
No,
go ahead.
you started first, dude.
This kind of helps me figure out, and when I'm doing longer rides and stuff like that, like how can I be better? Because when I went to Sturgis, I was like, oh, this is cool. But coming on the way back, I was like, I don't like this.
You
how
felt
I packed
overpacked?
it. I feel like way
So
overpacked.
that was your first big trip, though,
Yes, absolutely. Doing a big with y'all, that was my first biggest trip, and I was like, hey, don't fuck this up. Don't
Yeah.
look like an
right? You
idiot,
learn
know?
from it. You learn
But,
from it.
Exactly. And now I'm kind of figuring out, like, how can I slim down? How can I be
Well-
better? You know what I mean?
The good thing about also having friends all over the country is that you can also like you can ship out things like say if like for me like I'm thinking about this too. I'm gonna be on the road for 28, 29 days, right? Maybe I'm gonna have to ship something to maybe my homie Brian TBJ in Reno because I'm probably gonna try to lean on him to stay at his house. Maybe I ship a care package to him, and then I swap out some things so I have some fresh shit to throw on the bike, or for sure. You know, after I split off, I'm probably not going to camp anymore. So I'll probably ship all the camping shit back, open up a whole saddlebag. You know what I mean? But going to Pacific Northwest, like the concern is with the rain
Yeah, be
and
ready,
also
baby.
with all the mountainous stuff that we're gonna be riding in. We just want to be.
I don't think it's gonna be as rainy as y'all.
I don't think it is either, but I would rather.
I think it's gonna be hot.
I hope it's not.
The thing with us not having a layover anywhere, we don't have the option to not continue. So and not that I think we're gonna be in a fucking tornado. Like it'll just be rain.
Just be prepared for the what ifs.
Yeah. And I think another thing I learned from y'all is my bike stops. When I'm getting gas and getting snacks, I've come to figure out I don't like 30 minutes of sitting at a gas station.
Yeah.
I just want to fill up and go. Because the longer I stay...
Sometimes
I get that. But the longer I stay, the more I'm like, it's kind of hard to get back on my bike.
So
You gotta read the room is really what you gotta do. Sometimes these men need a fucking breather.
That's part of being
the dick. And
that's honestly like part of like being a air quotes leader of like the group or like the one leading the ride.
Yeah. Is
you have to kind of be aware of everybody. You be like, hey man, how you feeling? Because usually this is exactly how it goes down when we ride somewhere. Usually between me, James, and Cody, we figure out the next stop.
Okay.
All right. So we land at this spot, and then we immediately look up. Okay. If I feel a certain way, I'm thinking about how I feel as well. I'm like, look, I'm fucking wore out. On the way to fucking the camp out, I was leading that ride, and we got to fucking Durant or wherever the hell is up there. I was like, I pulled over, like, dude, I'm falling asleep. Oof. You know what I mean? I had to get a Red Bull or something. I was like, look, I'm sorry, I just had to stop real quick. You got to think about yourself as well. But what we'll do is, like, if we did 125 or 140 miles or wherever the case was, like, next stop we'll. I like to give people enough time to go in, piss, get a drink if they want a drink or a snack or a Snickers or something.
Right,
something. Like, I don't want to stop for 45 minutes or 30 minutes. I also don't want to, like, say we can't do this. Like, hey, do whatever you got to do.
Somewhere in between.
But be mindful of the fact that, like, we do need to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then just leave it at that. Because if you put, like, some kind of, like, time limit on it, it's like, it isn't like sometimes when I'm alone, I'm traveling. There's plenty of times I don't even get off the bike after 150 miles. I pull up to the gas stop, I fill up, and I keep going, right? But then there's times when I'm like, I'm going to stop and eat Denny's for an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's easier for me because I'm the only one to please. But, some people might be, fuck it, let's go. And the other people are like, dude, I have got to chill for a minute. I'm falling asleep. It's never the body or tired. It's tired. It's like literally like I'm just cruising and I have no energy.
It's that mental thing you were speaking about earlier.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I think is actually kind of cool is, so when you look at, especially on big mileage days, right? If you're looking at a daunting number, you're like, I got 1,150 miles to do, right? That can freak some people out. And one of the things that we've done, and I think it might be a psychological trick, but in a lot of ways, like it's how we hit milestones, and I dig it thoroughly.
Right.
Is we just count gas stops.
Yeah.
We're like, we got 4 to go. We got 3 to go. And these are usually 100, 120 mile clicks, right? So we're like, forget the mileage. We got 4 gas stops. Y'all can fucking do 4 gas stops.
If you think about it like that, like what he's saying, it's not. It's like the turtle and the hare thing. Like you can do 150 and blast and blast and blast, but if you're doing it all day, it's about an average maintained good pace, right? So it's like, look. Yeah, I know we all feel good. Let's go ahead and stop here. Let's go ahead and get us some fucking powdered donuts. Let's make it good. Let's get a good stop. We'll get back on the road, make sure we're all awake. And you have to continue that same energy. If it's a 1,000-mile day, it's a 10-day gas, or it's at least an 8 gas stop day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to like manage that. And then you start having terrain things. Like when you start turning left and right, that mileage goes from like, yeah, you're doing the same mileage, but it takes so much longer, right? That's the whole thing. It's like if you want to go from San Francisco to L.A., they want you to drive 50 miles inland and then go down, not just take the 101 or the 1, because that's a 12-hour ride. The other one's a 5. You know what I mean? So straight shot versus curves is a big deal, and that's one of those things that that kind of get overlooked. If you're going to the camp out, but you have to go through the Talamina first. From Arkansas, that's a longer day. If it's 200 miles and we're 200 miles,
exactly,
we're gonna get there a lot quicker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. Don't get hung up on it. It is what it is. Like
It's all choice. There's expressways all over this country, but if you choose to go on one of these rider roads, that like when we say we're gonna do a 1,000-mile day and then we're gonna do a 130-mile day, we might still be on the bikes for the same amount of time in that day.
Yeah.
But it's how you're choosing to ride that day.
Yeah.
It totally changes.
So the next stop we got is so basically we're going from Cedar City, Utah to
Question,
Mammoth.
Trey.
I love the gas
Good
stops
question.
that the homies do. It's so fun because if you don't talk to everybody like all day, if you don't have the Lexins connected or whatever, which we've never done, I want to do this trip. It is like that's the y'all don't want to.
I don't want
You
to.
can mesh with Jones or something. You and
Well, it's
Kyle
one of those
can-
things where it's like you spend an hour and a half by yourself, then all of a sudden you're so happy to talk to Larry and Jacob
Yeah,
and Cody for whatever.
You guys
for,
see that
for
thing back
15,
there?
Yeah, for 15, 20 minutes. It's all right. Here we go again, like the next leg. But I love the gas
I
stops.
do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
So after we leave, so Mammoth is going to be our first campsite, which I'm pretty I'm looking forward to it.
I am as well.
From Mammoth, we're going to be. I'm hoping this is going to be possible, but
Yep.
the goal is to go to Livermore, which is a part of Northern Cali that I've always hang out with a lot of friends there. But we're going to be taking the 120. I think it's the 120 across Yosemite, which is one of the most scenic rides where it shows a lot of the all the great features of that mountain range. And so
And since we're in California, you have to say the before the road, right?
Yeah.
You can't just say 120.
the 120. So I've tried to do this road probably every trip I've done to California, but it's usually closed because it's so high of a pass.
Yeah.
That the snow's still on the ground in June. So hopefully we can get through that. If not, we got to go up to probably add another 100 to 150 miles to it
Just to go around it.
just to go around it. We'll have to go up to South Lake Tahoe. But yeah, so Livermore is looking good. We'll probably be down to party in Livermore if anybody wants to come through. And then from the next morning, once again, that's a 300-mile day if everything goes well. The next day is from Livermore to Leggett, California, which is a coast town.
Leg it.
And I can't remember if we were camping there or not. I know that it's another 275-mile day, but I'd probably say it's going to be a 300-mile day because I'm sure we're going to go do the Golden Gate, some other shit.
Camping up there.
Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
So fucking when we get back up there, dude.
All right.
I'm excited for it. I cannot wait to take him,
Yeah.
Kyle,
Kyle.
Chance, like the dude. They
Dude.
weren't on one, right?
Yeah.
I cannot fucking wait.
So a little bit ahead of that, when we get to Oregon,
Camera guy.
have y'all ever looked at the Goonies thing? Are we going by the Goonies Beach in Oregon
Yeah.
at all?
I don't know, bro.
I think it's
What
I
beach
think
is
it's
it?
close. We did look at that. It's not too far away from it.
We're going up there.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It'll be the same. Doesn't matter. It'll be
Figure
all
out
the
what
same.
beach it is.
Yeah.
We might could slide
They're all
through.
the same. Oh, you filmed some dumbass movie here? Guess what?
There's a big
I
rock
was
next
100
to
miles
the
off the
ocean.
thing, and that beach was better than that. I've seen your movie. Fuck your beach. This one's
Well,
better.
once we leave Livermore, we hit Leggett. It becomes pretty much just a run up the entire coast all the way to. Essentially, we're going all the way to Newport, Oregon, but the next stop is It's Leggett to Gold Beach, Oregon, and then Gold Beach, Oregon to Newport, Oregon, and then Newport. We're actually going to get to go stay. We're going to cut through a little bit of Portland, and we're going to be staying in White Salmon, Washington, with Bruce.
hit it.
Bruce hit it.
Bruce is the guy that bought my Road Glide, and he's pulling all the fucking tricks out the hat to show us a great time in Washington. I'm pretty stoked about it.
Bro, he's gonna catch us some fish and fucking feed us like
So
fresh catch.
apparently,
fish.
we're getting some of the freshest of the fresh fish. We're eating at his homegirl, I guess, owns a restaurant. And they're opening up for us to come in there and smash it.
I'm gonna
Smash
take-
the restaurant, not
You know
her.
what? I just thought about this. When we're out there, can we have your old bike race your new bike?
Yeah, he'll probably kick my ass now. To be honest with
I don't know all about that.
This is the dude that bought Jace's last road
you.
glide.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna be up there eating some like mushrooms that he's foraged recently, and
For
y'all are
sure.
gonna have dinner
They're
in
fucking
town.
this
I'm gonna
big.
be standing in a creek, just praying to like an orca god or
You're like,
something. Yeah,
You stacked rocks and then you stacked yourself on top of them.
yeah.
We lose Jaden for another 3 days in fucking
I got
Oregon.
a Kita.
I don't know what
I'll
happened.
catch up.
Jaden started a cult.
for sure.
Dude, you could totally start a cult.
I'm
dude.
gonna come back with like a
put
rock
that past
tattoo on
you.
my shoulder.
A rock tattoo?
I look like the Rock. It's gonna be some Inuit Indian, just or whatever.
He's gonna come back
Very
like
tribal.
this shit means life.
You know what? You know
Like
when
the kid from
they
Free
stack
Willy?
them fucking rocks up and shit.
Yeah.
like the Dream Rocks or whatever. You're gonna be the cult leader of the Dream Rocks. What's going on the?
I don't know. I'm just listening to you. But no. So once we get up there, like the whole coast from, basically
It's gonna be so fun.
the whole coastline up is something I haven't done. You know, we've both ridden San Francisco
redwoods,
south.
boy.
We're going to be hitting the redwoods. We're going to be seeing a lot of that coastline, and I'm pretty excited to see Oregon for the first time. We're missing so much shit in Oregon. So everybody has already reached out and said, like, dude, you got to do fucking Crater Lake. You got to do this. You got to do that. I understand. We don't live close.
We'll get back up there. We'll get back up there.
So fucking far away, bro. Understand?
So when we do the redwood, are we gonna act like we're going it, and then all of a sudden we just all turn our bikes around and we get one gangster picture?
Oh, up
right
under
in front
the
of
little, like, loop
right
or
in front of a
whatever?
tree.
For
No,
sure.
right in front of a tree. But
Stop
we
all the traffic.
Yeah,
For
fuck
sure.
those
Sorry
cars.
guys. Yeah.
All the Instagram. We're
rode
gonna be
across
on
the country for
Instagrammers
this.
in the wild. And we didn't even take the video.
Yeah, yeah.
Be some dude in the car. Oh, look at these
Fly this
guys.
guy up there for that weekend.
So I'm really excited, man. Like, there's a lot of I don't know what to expect. I have a really open mind to the coastline north of essentially Bodega Bay, which is something that we've all done.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited. I mean, honestly, like riding any kind of coastline, all the coastal towns are always amazing.
Love it.
Just seeing how they operate, how they fucking live. They for a West Coast and how crazy like LA and San Francisco and Portland and Seattle, when you're on these coastal towns, they always have like this California vibe, like real chill, real mellow, and it's so fucking addicting. Like,
It
dude,
is.
I could totally just sit in a rocking
I
chair
could
here.
just shut my bike off.
Yeah.
And not fucking leave. Let it grow into the earth right over here, and I'm never leaving this little town.
So, like I said, we're going to be hanging out with Bruce up there in White Salmon. He's pulled out quite a few stops to kind of make that a great place for us. There's so much shit that we're missing in Washington that I wish that we could and we could do and see, but it is what it is. Like, we want to, we want to
be back.
Yeah,
We will be
eventually
back.
we'll be back.
Fuck that. June 11th, Spokane, Washington.
Yeah.
Show out.
Yeah.
We can't fuck with you in White Salmon. We're busy that night. But if you want to,
Let's
you're in
party in
Washington,
Spokane.
Hey,
you got the heads up notice right
Also-
now. June 11th, we're in Spokane, Washington. What the fuck do you got, dude? Show me something.
Yeah.
Especially when we're up on this coastline, right? We're riding on the coast. There's no fucking cities. There's no fucking fuel stops besides this one little
Yeah.
podunk. Hey, if
$8
any of y'all know some Chevron sponsorships or some shit like that,
June
we're-
11th
we're,
is-
we're about to be hitting $16 a gallon goddamn gasoline up there.
June 11th.
Throw it
is
at you.
June 11th is a Saturday night. So literally, if you live in the state of Washington, you have no state. Or fuck, actually, you're right, James. Laugh at that. If you're in the
big
state
ass
of Washington, the state of Oregon, you have no fucking reason not to come out. I mean, how often are we in your backyard?
Let's burn
Hey,
that bitch
If
down.
you've never been to Dallas,
What else are you doing up there?
if you've never been to Dallas, well, guess what? I got you next time. But guess what? I'm coming to Spokane June 11th on the Saturday. It's a Saturday, June 11th. What the fuck, dude? What are you doing?
Oh, we all.
Let's-
You know what? We also don't have nowhere to stay that night. So if you want to fuck around and get crazy, we can
Yeah.
hang out with y'all. We can stay at your crib.
Where's our Washington friends at?
You won't regret it. I promise.
I'm
you.
excited.
They won't regret it.
Well, now
You
we
won't
did have
regret
some homies meet. So the next night after Spokane, we'll be doing a quick, easy 200-mile ride to Missoula, Montana. It's probably gonna be scenic as fuck. I'm
Yeah.
pretty excited.
Oh, yeah.
We've already been reached out by a homie in Missoula.
Drew?
Drew is
Yeah.
trying to fucking party with us in Missoula.
Yes.
So I'm
You have
excited
some
about
homies
that.
in Montana, dude.
can't
Huh?
wait.
Yeah, it's great.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Spokane, what you got?
Spokane. Let's not let Montana fucking outshine you in the party
Yo, right?
aspect.
You think they got state to state beef? You think?
I know, it's like, dude,
you
I don't
think
wanna be
Washington
part of
just
this.
fucks with California? They're like, fuck, don't go to Montana.
Yeah.
I don't want to sidetrack too much. I'll show this after the fact. You know, from Yellowstone.
Yo.
You know she's hardcore British, like in real life.
Oh, okay.
I've got audio of her like talking in real life.
That's a bummer.
Blow your fucking mind, dude. Blow your mind.
You mean just like what's his name? Jax Teller from Sons of
Charlie
Anarchy?
Hunnam, yeah.
Charlie Hunnam. He's like full Brit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's a Californian. He's a Californian, right?
One of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all you Sons of Anarchy fans, if you ever want to watch one of the best movies he ever did, was called Green Street Hooligans.
I've seen it.
It's a good movie.
Seen it.
You seen it?
No,
His follow up, he did that like King Arthur follow up or
That
whatever.
King Arthur was
It's
good.
not fucking bad.
It was good.
It's not fucking bad at all.
He's been doing a lot of like even that movie that just came
He's
out.
about to drop one. Yeah, like just now.
No, he did the one with Matthew McConaughey too. That's pretty good. But he
Yes.
was a supporting actor
Yes.
in that one. Yeah.
Have y'all been watching?
Yeah, it's just come out on Netflix. That's right.
Y'all been watching the Mayans?
Nah, I haven't.
J Dog did.
Jaden's
He's
into
up
it.
on that. He's up on that joint.
Hey.
He's like after season 2, like it gets good. I'm
Dude.
like, I couldn't make it through fucking
This
season 2. It was
season-
that bad.
You know what's crazy? Season 1, episode 1, we watched it at his house the night before the first camp
We
out.
did.
The season premiere, because when we first did the camp out, we didn't
did.
actually do it on Thursdays. It was only a Friday, Saturday thing.
Okay.
And so we all stayed
Right.
at James's house is in Frisco, Texas, and we all sat
Back
in his
when I
living
had a
room.
house. Back when I
I
had
know
a
where
house.
you live.
Back when he wasn't a bum.
Back when I had a house.
Now I'm gonna come find you.
Now I'm a broke
And so
motherfucker.
we all sat in his house and watched that first episode of the very first season
Mayans.
of Mayans, and
There was some hype around that motherfucker, dude.
because it was
I think
like
there was 2 bikes in the whole episode. The
Yeah.
first episode, it was that. It was
It's,
like
it's
what?
pretty good now. It's, I will say. It's,
I haven't watched past the first season.
Jaden
to be
will-
honest with you.
I like.
If you
it.
keep this going, Jade will go on like a 10-minute
Dude,
rant.
yeah,
I
it's
guarantee you.
pretty
He's
good.
fucking. He's on
it's,
that.
it's pretty good.
It's
It-
like
on
he's
it.
lit. He's already got something to say.
I fucking know.
Yeah.
He's coming in hot.
the character development and some of the bikes in there are actually pretty lit. Seabear Stunts is in there.
He is?
Shut up.
He
Word?
is.
No way.
Riding?
Yeah, he is. One of the last episodes. He is.
Riding?
Yes.
I fuck.
Yeah. Little
I fuck with that.
fuck
little
yeah.
cameo for
I
y'all.
fuck with that.
Hell yeah.
Look out for it.
Does he have a helmet on or no helmet?
No helmet.
I believe that.
Yep. He's in one of the scenes.
Is he smiling?
Dude, I fuck with that.
Because he smiles
no one's
all the
side.
time.
It's-
Every time his fucking modular's up.
It's a pretty dark little scene, but you'll see. It's
What, he
pretty good.
Does a burnout on a fucking corpse or some shit?
I want to let
dude,
you.
that'd be
So blow the whistle. He asked did Jaden get his bike back. No, his bike is gone. He has no bike.
Stolen.
But
Yeah.
his homies figured out a way to get him on a bike to do a fucking 2-week trip.
It's pretty good homies, right?
If you rewind and listen to the beginning of this podcast, we fuck with each other heavy.
Heavy.
Yeah.
So
Blow the whistle.
huh?
Put in for a raffle when your bike gets stolen. May win an FXR. Never know.
You trying to sell that thing?
If you hit me with the right number, I
Well,
might.
of course. Everybody gets
It's-
that, right? Maybe.
I love the bike, but now having to be on my bagger.
You don't love it that much because you ain't done
I love
nothing.
I love the T Sport,
You ain't
but now
done
that I have
nothing
the
on it.
bagger, like I don't have the desire to ride the T Sport. anymore.
Yeah, it's a good bike.
My
It's a-
T Sport's
it's
gonna
a
go
great
for
bike.
sale in July.
I just feel
See
bad.
what we're
I don't want to
talking about,
abuse
Taylor?
it because I do want to ride it
He
weekly.
missed it. I don't know if that's a good thing or
Probably
bad
a
thing.
good
Should we
thing.
bring it back up?
No, I don't think we should.
No.
We're good. He's just gonna regurgitate everything
yeah,
we
yeah.
just said.
No, he's gonna get
Yeah.
hype. He's gonna be hype.
The FXR is for sale for the right price, guys.
Yeah.
No.
So hit me up.
About something that you fuck with heavy.
So yeah, so Missoula, Montana, like we got some obligations there that I'm really looking forward to.
Yamaha bolts.
From Missoula, Montana, we plan to go back through we're hoping scenic ride back to New Meadows, Idaho. So we're kind of going to zigzag back and forth through Idaho to catch as much of that state as we can because it's supposed to be badass, and I
sure.
think it is.
We're in Indian country.
Yeah, so from basically New Meadows, Idaho, which is probably a town that's not too much going on, it's just going to be like a stop to kind of like break up the trip.
Yeah.
And then from New Meadows, it'll be from there. We'll probably do a lunch stop in Boise and then land in Twin Falls, Idaho on June 14th. And then June 15th is when I'm considering breaking off to go back west.
Bye, bitch.
But we'll see how that goes. I might wait till Salt Lake. It just depends on how everything. I got to reach out to all the people I want to do podcasts with and line it all up. But yeah, I mean, this whole trip, man, like it's so much first. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to make sure that I didn't break away from anything. I didn't want anybody to experience something for the first time, and I wasn't a part of the group.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Get that for sure. Because once we leave that area, whether you split or don't, like the one big thing, if you follow along with the podcast, you follow along with the crew and stuff like that, our homeboy from DFW, goddamn Saxon's ass,
He owes me a battery.
He moved to fucking Salt Lake City, so we're just outside. So we're really stoked because on the way back on this trip, we're gonna catch up with him and his old lady back in now their new town, and we're gonna see what's popping.
It was good to see Sax. I think.
Really good.
I just want a fucking battery,
Listen,
dude.
calm down on your battery. We were excited to see him.
They're $90.
Tell me how excited he was to see us.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He been stuck. I love Shannon, but he been stuck with her ass 247 the entire time since he moved there. He was like, "Boy, I'm with my homies now. I'm stoked."
A little crazy thing about the camp out is like, hey, this is the last time I'm going to see you for a little while. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I felt bad leaving. I was like, I don't think I said bye to everyone. You know, some people cut out Saturday, and some people left Sunday morning before I left.
Oh, it's impossible to say goodbye to 1,000 people.
So, Sax, I'll miss you.
For sure. We gonna see your ass though. We are. Jace, maybe not.
What's the
He's
fucking,
gonna actually. Jace will come to collect his motherfucking batteries.
Get my battery,
Come
bro.
for your
I'm
batteries.
gonna get my battery, bro.
Can't hide. You can't hide from.
Apparently, we're doing one camera angle for this whole podcast.
Oh, he's.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He's on the podcast. He ain't running it.
Trey, go ahead, take your spot back.
It's on y'all now.
He left the.
I'm a terrible cameraman.
He left the itinerary up though. You know what though? I'm stoked to go back to Salt Lake City because we were only there for basically a midday stop. This was actually on the very, very first trip. We were still dealing with bike issues, and we had to stop Raw Tin Garage.
That one right there.
Yeah, that one right there. The OG. Raw Tin Garage helped us out big time to get fucking bike back on the road with a bearing issue, and it was super good. But that was like midday. We even went out and got some lunch, and then we went on the road and rode all the way from Salt Lake City through past Salt Lake. Got destroyed with bugs. That's why every one of those bikes is murdered with bugs. And by the time we got to Wendover, which is where the Salt Flats is, that was like it was the longest, shortest day ever. Like it was crazy. It was a crazy day. But I want to go back to Salt Lake just because like Salt Lake's a big city, but it's slept on. It's very much slept on.
I'm just curious of how y'all grew from that photo to now.
How we grew from that photo to now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good question. I would say, so first of all, there's a lot of paint that has come from then to now.
Okay.
There's literally only one paint that remains from there.
Yeah.
Everything else, we've got new bikes, new paint, and I mean a lot of the same dudes, but it's also been, we've grown from, so that's 6 guys. We actually started that trip with 7. But
Every time
Trent had
Kyle-
issues on there.
Was Trent even on that one?
Trent started
with us, and his back fucked
his
up.
pulley bolts backed out in Texas. But so at that point it was a little bit more loose with whoever wants to go can go. Now we've done this enough times and we're to the point where we're at a hard 8. 8 is fucking max cap.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's just, that's our magic number. And that's based on experience and accommodations and the way that we like to travel.
Yeah.
I think I can speak for Kyle and Trent that when the 3 of us look at that picture, it's like a little midget just walks up and goes boom right in the fucking balls every time. Because all 3 of us were supposed to be on it, we fucking miss it, and it's one of those like you can't get back kind of things. And it's not like we fucked up; it just things happen. But
Life.
yeah, that's a tough one for all 3 of us. It's happy to see him. It's a badass picture. All 3 of us are like, oh.
It is. And here's the
see
thing.
y'all
We're
now,
gonna change it. We're gonna recreate it.
Yeah.
And I have
is what it
photos
is.
with you on the beach and
Oh
Kyle
yeah,
on
and
the
that's
beach.
the thing. The same
So
trip.
much.
Yeah, Kyle and I were able to fly out. It was awesome. But yeah, that's one that still it stings every time.
We're gonna fast forward from now. So we are I would say about 80% done with the lower 48. We're getting there. We still have actually I would say maybe 2
We have the
trips
Midwest.
left. We have the Midwest and we have the Southwest.
I don't know if you were.
No,
Kinda,
we've
kinda.
done that. We've done Southwest.
I don't think you were in here.
We've done Southwest states. We haven't done.
we've
We haven't like gone into it.
We've talked about doing an Arizona trip essentially,
Yeah.
where we really just go balls.
But we're
deep on
really
Arizona.
close. We're really close.
Even if it's not 2 weeks, but like
yeah, like getting
a long,
getting up in them
long weekend.
Yes.
The question was how did y'all change from that
So
photo to now?
what? Honestly, other than the fact that like
organization.
Matt hasn't been able to do a trip. He's been a very vital part of a lot of aspects of our local things like campouts, bike nights. He's a big help here at the
Love
shop. Hazmat Designs. He's kind of always,
Painting my fender and my side covers.
He's kind of. We got a little. That's a bit of joke that's been around for a long time. He knows when he hears that noise, he laughs. He knows what we're talking about. But also that trip, even Matt had a lot of problems with his bike, but it also it gave us the education that I think as a group we needed to know of how to prepare for those things, and because there were certain things we were able to help Matt with. There were certain things that Matt had to kind of figure out on his own. But it was a good thing to show people, or for us to like say if you got to the opportunity to do one of these trips with us, we would be able to give you a lot of insight of like, hey, look, you need to think about it this way, do it this way. Right. You have a problem with your bike. That's one of the things about this trip is that all of us are on a vacation. It's my vacation just as much as it is your vacation.
Right.
So your lack of planning should not be the demise of my vacation. Right. So you need to have contingencies in place to get your bike home or to the next place or whatever, whether it means you're renting a U-Haul
Or
truck.
even just bad luck. Doesn't have to be lack of planning.
Yeah, 100% bad luck. Yeah.
I think
Trent
that's-
had bad luck on the northwest or the northeast trip. 100%.
I think that's the fun of bikes, man. Like you never know the next adventure, and shit goes sideways. Sometimes you have bad luck. Sometimes you have good luck,
Dude,
man.
the trip before, my last trip with my bike club and even Brad was on the trip. We were still doing big wheel shit. We went from here. We went to Monument Valley. Me and Brad both in Monument Valley, within 100 miles of each other, blew our air ride shocks, and we had to tee them off as to one air ride shock per bag or per bike. And we made it to Vegas, and then our buddy Sean at TOL hooked us up with some more shocks. We were able to get our bikes back on the road. Yeah. And then the next morning, one of the other dudes of the 4 guys that went on the trip, his motor blew. Ooh. Right before we got to the border of California and we sat there with him at a gas station for 3 hours until the tow truck brought him back to Vegas, and then he just rented a U-Haul and drove it home. Yeah. And then we had to go from essentially the California border all the way to Livermore, which was a 700-mile ride that we started at 3 p.m. Ooh. At 3 p.m. We showed up to our hotel, which was ironically right across the street from fucking Arlen Ness Cycles. We showed there up at 4 a.m. Yeah, essentially, it was a shit show. But I got pictures of Brad at the gas pump laying on the ground, just asleep, exhausted. Just like whatever, like because we went hard as fuck in Vegas. We woke up the next morning, we went and had Steak and Shake or some shit or some kind of like breakfast joint. And then we finally hit the road, and we didn't get fucking 45 minutes outside of Vegas, and then my boy's bike blew up. And so we didn't – that was the first time ever on my cross-country travels that someone had a trip-altering experience where, like, I didn't know what to do. Like, part of me wanted to be like, stay with him and figure it out, make sure he gets in a tow truck. But we did wait to that point, but we should have said, like, all right, is everything figured out? Because we got 700 miles to go. Yeah. You're squared away. You got this. You're going to stay in Vegas one more night, and then you're driving home tomorrow. Like, it sucks to leave somebody behind, but at the same point in time, you have to accept some aspects that, like, there's nothing else you can do. Well, you know what I mean?
Agreed. So I guess the main reason you staying back was to make sure he was good was your brotherhood, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to leave somebody behind, but like that's where it becomes like this weird situation where you don't like me as if I'm riding my bike and some shit happens to my bike, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to drag the rest of the group behind if it's something I can maybe figure out over the course of the next 12 hours and then catch up. Yeah. You have to make that decision. And sometimes that puts you in a very, very weird place of
hey, take it easy, bro. You talking.
I've lost what I was saying. What are we doing here?
We're doing it.
No, it's a good thing, man.
You're on another level.
It's hard, man. Like, you don't want to leave anybody, but everybody has to be prepared for the inevitable or the worst.
Right. It's a mutual
scenario.
Responsibility that we're all making this effort. Just like you said, it's your vacation just as much as mine and all these men. Yeah. So it does come on to all of us to do as much as we can to prepare for it, the best that we can. But should something happen on the road, we have to deal with it accordingly. And sometimes that is a group matter, and sometimes that is a let's be safe as a group, and then the individual has to resolve the matter, right? Yeah. Trent's perfect example again last year, right? Exactly. His bike literally, the same horseshit happened last year, and he made a conscious choice as an adult. He was put to the point where he had to make a choice.
He had like 3 options. They all had delays of time. And he picked the one that put him back on the road the quickest.
He literally left a bike that he was on halfway across the country, and he bought a new bike. It was a choice.
Yeah. And I guess that was pretty much my question right there, is just how do you figure that out? What is best for the group when you're starting as a group and you're trying to end as a group? You know,
it's tough. So. Because you do try to do that. You absolutely do try to do that. And at the same time, given the fact that we're on a time constraint, right, because we're not on the retiree schedule, we're not on limited time. If it's unlimited time,
yeah, we can't just take a layover for 2 days in like a town that we, you know, like I said, this shit could happen to me. It could happen to any one of us on this trip. Yeah. That's the thing. We're trying to, knock on wood, real wood over here.
For sure. Hey,
you just want to make sure that, like, if something happens, that you can figure it out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not burden the rest of the group for the rest of the trip. None of these guys want to walk away. When your bike's down, nobody wants to be like, all right, peace, dude. Figure it out. Nobody wants to be that way. Yeah. It's kind of like you as the guy that's having the problems. Like, look, you guys go ahead and keep moving. I got all this handled. It gives us like the okay, cool, because we don't want to be the guys like, hey, dude, we got to go,
right? Because
it makes us feel bad because we do need to go.
Yeah,
but it's not.
If it's something that it literally, if it's catastrophic, right? Then that's a real decision you have to make. How am I going to get this machine back to my residence? Am I going to make an exchange, something like that? If it's something where you have to be in the shop for 24 hours, 48 hours, you might have to cut a corner of your trip off, right? For you as an individual, and then loop back around and cycle up with the guys, right? Jaden found this out firsthand. He took a wrong turn, and we didn't see him for 48 hours. It was, you know what I'm saying?
I had too much fun in Cody, Wyoming.
Exactly. So something like that.
Cost me another day.
Yeah, man.
Sons of bitches.
Hell yeah.
But stuff like that, it happens on the road, and you have to understand what. So the baseline of it all is like the trust that we have in these men and the way that we operate is we all have a common goal. We all want to do this trip. We want to do it together. But road happens. Life happens. The shit that happens on the road is something that you can't always prepare for. You do your best to prepare for it so much as you can, but shit happens on the road that sometimes you can't prepare for.
Yeah.
So you have to adapt and you have to overcome and do it the best way that you possibly can. Hopefully that means all of you still together. Sometimes it's not that way.
Yeah.
And you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah. I mean, we were fortunate because every problem that Matt had on his bike, we were able to some of the problems he had to solve himself as far as getting a tow truck to get him to the next town. But we all rallied and we kept on the road, and we went to one place and grabbed bearings, and then I knew somebody in Salt Lake, a Raw 10 Garage. He gave us his shop. We swapped out his bearings there and then jumped back on the road. And next day, his fucking front tire goes flat with a goddamn spoke wheel. And so it was like, fuck. Like, then, it was, it's
starter issue.
No. That was already, but that wasn't
ongoing.
That was an ongoing issue. But then the next day it was like he had the front tire on Father's Day. Front tire goes flat in the middle of fucking Nevada. It was 200 miles from Reno, and then Von Metal of all people,
Bless his heart.
jumps in his fucking van, comes and picks up Matt, brings him back to TPJ's house to drop him off, or actually takes him back to his shop.
Yep.
And then the next day, like, Von Metal, say what you will, that dude was fucking solid.
He was
for
so
us
rock
on our
solid.
on that trip right there, that day, that actual day that I'm telling you what happened. That was that morning and that day.
Yep.
That night we were sitting at we were camping at TPJ's house that night. We went to Texas Roadhouse that night. Got fucked up.
No, we didn't. We went to.
Was it not Texas Roadhouse?
No, we were trying to go to Texas Roadhouse. We went to fucking. God, what's it called?
BJ's?
Dude? BJ's.
BJ's.
Texas Roadhouse closed.
Yeah.
But yeah, Von Metal, dude, all-star. Absolute fucking MVP of like a 24 to 48 hour period. Matt wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for that man.
Yeah.
100%. But at the end of the day, even with all the bullshit, and Matt can attest to this at the same time, like, he was able to lie his head where we all lied ours every single night.
He had to work a little bit harder than we
Yep.
did, but he still did it.
Yep.
I mean,
That's fucking life, dude. It's not all like everybody isn't always dealt the same hand of cards. You know what I'm saying? So we do as much as we possibly can to try to pre-prep.
Yeah.
But that's not like the invincible code. You know what I'm saying? Just because we pre-prep doesn't mean that it's going to work out in our favor 100% of the time. All that shit could happen to any one of us at any given time. So it's a matter of how you react to it and respond to it on the road, live action, and
Be
keep
prepared.
moving. Keep fucking moving.
Be prepared. 100%.
JKL, just keep living.
Thanks, Kyle.
Killer.
Or thanks, Jake.
Killer.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a lot of things have changed since that thing, but we've just gotten more refined in how we do things and how we kind of traverse the country. And I mean, as much as things have changed, it's really still the same. We're just smashing bikes across country.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Straight up. Chasing time off with friends. One of the great things about being away with your homies is that you get the opportunity to miss the life that you have, and
I wouldn't give it up for a motherfucking thing.
I do not know the Thrashing Girl's name.
I don't even think they know her name, bro.
He's just staring at the girl's titties on the wall.
There's some
couldn't help it.
goddamn
I
rock
just wanna
star
know if
titties,
she had
I'll
a-
tell you what.
Yes.
Don't you dare, Trey.
Don't you dare. Today.
No, I'm traveling across. Well, here's the deal. So on that trip, we kind of established a thing, and then even like a group of dudes, right? So every year when we get done with this trip, we're already talking about on the trip. We're still in the middle of the trip. Like, hey,
Next one.
what are we doing next year? You know what I mean? And so when we get off the trip, like I said, we have a good solid 8 people, right? And 8 people is kind of like the perfect mix for Airbnbs and hotels, because technically you can do 2 hotel rooms, 1 Airbnb, 2 campsites essentially. So you
fucking state or national park.
yeah, you're just kind of like you can do more with that amount of people. You add 9 and 10, people get weird. You know what I mean?
It does.
So the thing is like, there's a lot of solid people that we've met, you and Josh, and we got dudes in our group that we would love to have on this trip. But the hard part is like, none of these dudes are giving up their spot. You know what I mean?
And that's
Not for the
where-
big trip.
Yeah, that's where time and respect comes in play. I would never ask for that unless y'all ask
Yeah.
me of that.
For
I mean, if we ask you,
I
man,
mean,
like it's a
yeah.
big thing. Like, hey,
Right,
dude,
absolutely.
2 weeks off of work, so
Yeah.
you got to have the vacation or the ability to do that. That's. I mean, I'm not speaking for you. Like, I don't know your situation, but for a lot of people, most people have to be in their 30s to even have that kind of time off work.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Early in my life, I didn't have this opportunity, so that's why I'm grabbing it by the balls now that I do.
Or you're
know
gonna
what
get
I'm saying?
fired, like you did. Or not, laid off. Sorry.
Damn, Front Street. Damn.
I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean to hit you with that.
Better
He fucking
opportunities for
did it.
Jaden.
Rip that hoodie off. Hold on, put it in the camera real quick.
No, fuck man, do it anyways. Do your own thing.
If you keep, I mean,
Like I
just-
said, if the books are full on something you want to do, do something just like it.
For sure.
Well, like I said, I'm never not available for questions, as are any of these guys. And
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like I said, just the. Were you on the FXR, the Terralingua run this year?
No.
Dude,
I kind of want to do that.
There were some people that were on it this year that are like,
Pretty rad.
what the fuck? They got their first little taste of it, and that was a little weekend run to a remote part. I mean, they all really broed down when they got there. But man, I know guys that were part of that. They were like, I got the fucking, like giving
The bug.
Yeah, like giving a little baby vampire a little blood.
Sure.
Like they got the fucking taste, and they're all about it. Man, find those guys, do it, and
Everybody likes Trey, so let's give him some Trey.
the world is yours,
Bro.
Oh,
For sure.
look at this guy, dude.
From this angle.
What?
Give me that mark.
What are these guys got? Oh, okay. Trey is the most interactive cameraman. I like it,
All right,
Jekka.
so Zach
Appreciate that.
Atfel.
I
Hey, you don't say that.
I agree.
Oh,
Trey is
Pat.
killing it. Kenny Hicks. I haven't been
Zach
watching
is-
this. You guys should fucking you know what you should do, cameraman? You should moderate what the fuck's going on in live comments, because when this is live, you're able to see this stuff. But once the live is over, it disappears, right?
Yeah.
So like anything that's popping off live, to be able to moderate that and actually see what's happening, we can respond to it live, and therefore it's actually part of the cast versus just something that happened that only 60, 70 people know about.
Twin Falls.
Huh?
I'm gonna ship some stuff to Brian. I'm gonna send him new underwear. I'm just swap out his place.
Bro,
Trey gets his own camera. This is the first camera.
Look at this guy.
dude, this is extra. This is extra as fuck, right? Hey, how do you like that, Saxon?
Oh shit! I guess you're not getting one.
No. Oh, it broke.
All fell apart.
Wow.
Oh, look at you. Look at you.
Bing bong.
Do a handy cam. Hand cam.
Honestly, man, we're at a point now where we should probably start going towards.
We can wrap
Towards
it up.
Patreon.
We can wrap it up. Was that what you're talking about?
I want to wrap it up. Maybe we could talk a little more for some extra shit, but just on audio.
Yeah.
Because we done good. It's Cody's fault. It's always Cody's fault. We did good tonight.
You know what though?
Cody, they should have never gave you money.
I love Jaden, but I miss my man right here. It's
Jaden's
it's
weird.
I should
weird.
be over there.
I love looking at Jaden in the eyeballs and like fucking smacking Cody in the face. You know what I mean? This is the first podcast I think we've ever done. I don't think I've ever done a podcast without Cody B to my left.
For real?
Yeah. We did a few before you came in to make it a 4. We did like a trifecta. But like Cody's always been there and I've always been here for I think every single podcast I've ever done.
Horrible.
I believe that.
I'm
believe
messing with you, dude.
But you know what? And at the same time, even when we were talking about the OG.
joking. They were
So
funny.
here's a fun fact for you guys. So the original first podcast we all ever did as a travel group, right? We did a couple podcasts on the road on this trip that we've just been alluding to for these last 20 minutes or so. So we did 2 podcasts. We did one in Silt, Colorado, which was the first time, literally the first time any of us had ever been on microphones, spoken about any of this shit or whatever. Uncomfortable as fuck, but you could if you
Larry
take
and
the
Jacob
time.
were on edibles
Larry and
or
Jacob were on.
high
That's
or
the
something.
first time they've fucking
But they
first and last
barely
they've
talked.
ever been on there, right?
Dirty Larry.
Dirtily. That was before Larry was dirty. That's clean Larry on there.
Hey,
As a matter of fact,
the
you might
Dirty
have witnessed him
Larry at
getting
this
dirty
camp out
because
with
he was taking
his
drugs.
little goatee and mustache
Oh,
going
you
on.
need to get that shit off.
That shit was some dirty
Yo,
Larry.
Hey, literally
was awesome.
some chick at camp, I looked at him and said, "Nah, I don't fuck with all that shit on the face."
I don't know about that.
It did happen. I was fucking there. Anyway, so about the road dogs, not like doing this stuff. We our very, very, very first one was just we were sitting around a picnic table in the dark in a place called Silt, Colorado. It's just through the we were on our way to what is it? Junction? Grand Junction. We were on our way to Grand Junction. We had a detour and
My bad.
Put it on yourself,
we were on a detour through it was Highway 70, which we found out to be one of our favorite roads ever. and we went to Grand Junction, or we were on our way to Grand Junction.
No.
Glenwood Springs was the road, or Highway 70 through Glenwood Springs.
Hey, it's me, Trey. What's happening?
That's exactly what you look like.
Oh, it's me, Trey. I'm a cook. Look at my glasses. I ride a Sportster.
Oh shit!
I don't know any miles.
All right, I'm just gonna
Everything else is scary in the world.
My new Nightster will be your soft felony day.
I'm gonna wrap up this thought because I'm actually really excited about this. So we did our very first one there. It was like a virgin podcast. It was cool, but it was horrible at the same time. We did a second one like 13 days later on literally the last night.
Yeah.
We all spent together. We got cut off by a fucking tornado storm in West Texas in a town called Muleshoe. I texted these men.
I know Muleshoe.
It's a nowhere fucking town, but that's where we got caught out on. So this year, for the first time, we haven't done it since then. That was 2019. This year, for the first time, we're gonna redo On the Road podcast.
Yeah, like
We're gonna redo active on the road podcasting for the first time since the very, very, very first time these men were on the microphone.
This is gonna be extremely weird.
It'll be way different.
Muleshoe and
Muleshoe.
Muleshoe.
Get it right.
I'm from there.
Okay.
Produces 90%.
You said what? You're from
They produce 90% of the America's cucumbers.
Cucumbers?
for real?
Holy shit!
Okay, Dan.
Lubbock, Texas, and
Tell your
around
mama now.
surrounding areas. They, I think it's like they produce 90% of the world's cotton from that area.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. We had just did Fort Sumner. We went to see the Billy the Kid grave.
Yeah.
And then there was this that's the crazy thing about East New Mexico is you can see the storm that you're gonna hit in 50 miles.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like,
So
well,
flat.
there it is. Okay, it's getting closer. It's happening. Bam, here it is. We were all hanging up under a bridge like some fucking tornado refugees.
Only one with a rain suit.
Yeah.
You guys was wet as fuck. We spent about 45 minutes in Allsup's.
Yeah.
Jason
I'm
was
not
so
complaining.
happy.
I love
Jason was
I
so
love
happy.
burritos,
He had
dude.
9
Thank
burritos.
you. He just got some more points.
Trey, fuck
With
off.
the taco sauce? Hey, fuck
Dude,
yeah,
I
I'm
got
from
the
there.
taco sauce
Yeah,
at the
that's
house. I
good.
bought a jar
That's
of it.
good. Yeah.
So good.
Horrible.
I can't wait to eat some of that.
Have y'all been to Fort Davis yet?
Where's Fort Davis?
West Texas near El Paso.
No.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
We haven't done a lot of the Southwest.
Okay. So
We honestly haven't done any of it.
I've only been
we
through
as
El
a group
Paso
have
one
not
time.
ridden 10 at all.
Okay.
We haven't, as a group, we have not ridden 10 at all.
I've only been through El Paso one time since the whole time I've lived down here. And it was when it was Snowmageddon 2 years ago. And it was snowed through there. I literally saw a fucking dude driving like he was regular, and he just
Hell yeah.
he lost control and
That
just
happens.
rammed another dude.
So, the lady up there was talking about Rogan earlier, hey, Rogan ruined the world.
Did we just get spammed?
Do you remember
What
were you on the last
happened?
one where the dude spelled the N-word the whole time?
Yeah, that was funny. That made me laugh.
We just got spammed.
I had sunglasses on at 3 a.m. I don't think about that.
Bet.
We'll talk about it off air.
So Fort Davis has one of the best star views in all of the world.
I believe
Yeah.
it. Anywhere
West
out
Texas
there,
has,
boys.
yeah.
Any fucking where out there.
So they
Some
do
of the darkest skies.
Yeah, they do a star party there at night, and you can stay there all night. And they set up telescopes at night, and you can see Saturn. You can see the rings move.
All I want to know is tell me that you fingered a girl there once, please. Fingered him to Saturn coming across the sky or some shit.
Tell me
It
you
was a
fingered.
high school trip.
Tell me you fingered her.
You should have
What
in
does that
high
mean?
school.
It was
does
a
that
high
mean?
school trip.
You fingered her to my anus.
There was a chick.
Uranus. Can
Uranus.
I get a Montucky down there?
But they have two 65-ton telescopes and one dark matter telescope there.
Is that not the one that's on that has the
Dark matter.
Is that not the one on the
J.J. Abrams
if you're
film?
going towards out
NBA
Marfa and all
2K?
that shit?
Yes.
Okay, I know what you're
yes.
talking about. Yeah.
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 If y'all get the experience,
I haven't done it yet, but I want to do
That
that.
is a good good time. And there's a Barnham pool that's 65 acres big, and it's a natural springs pool. They get to like go there in 72 degrees year round.
Yeah.
Is this still in El Paso, or is
No,
this
no,
just
this
somewhere
is,
in West Texas?
It's about Fort Davis, like
Yeah.
in between like Fort Davis and Marfa.
Okay, so I might have passed through there because when we were going, we went all the way down. We left Marfa in the morning, and we ended up in fucking, where are we meeting? Where's the steakhouse? In
Amarillo.
Amarillo. So we went from Marfa to Amarillo one day, just like south to north, right?
Yeah.
And we went through this area. There's nothing around. Far West Texas, oil shit everywhere, but nothing around. And we took this like random right-hand turn on this side country road, and there was this killer fucking hot spring, like in the middle of nowhere.
I'd have to jump into it.
I was about to. I was so ready to. But we're like, should we make time? Should we keep going or whatever?
Was
And
it like
was a shitty day? It was actually like, call it 3 or 4 city blocks wide. Like it was a full built out pool hot spring, to the point where
is that the thing you're talking about?
Yeah. Dude,
Is it?
It's legit.
It's
yeah.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's the
middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's legit.
And they charge as though it's like a state or national park.
yeah.
Like you're coming
It's
into a park.
State park. Yeah.
State park. Yeah.
It's legit.
Nothing there.
We
It's
went
like a
to
for that.
schwitz. It's like a schwitz.
It is like a schwitz.
You sit in, it's like a bath.
It is like a schwitz.
Yeah.
It is like a bath.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
Have you ever like you watch like those
Taylor's
Japanese
Mix.
and Russian bathhouse, like everybody's hanging out in the dude? I want to do
Tell-
that so bad.
tell me
You're
where-
not in the
tell me
fucking
when's
mafia,
the-
bro. You're
I've
not
been-
going to
yeah.
get invited.
Case, you
So
still
off-
have my Nixon map.
Off Royal and
I left it at
35.
your tent.
Oh.
What in the fuck is a
I don't know
Nixon
about that,
map?
Johnny
Nixon.
Utah. You may want
Hey,
to chalk that up to a
not
loss,
the
by
place
way.
to talk about your bullshit, dude.
Johnny
I've been
Utah.
to a couple Asian places that like Royal and 35 where you go where it's like all saunas and that kind of stuff, and no, they're big establishments.
Yeah,
But whatever you're talking about, or who said it? Who
no,
brought
no.
it up?
I think it, like John Wick, right? The first
Yeah.
one where he's like he goes and shoots those dudes. They're all like chilling in like a tub or like a
So
spring
I've been
or
an Asian version of that, but
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
not as like seedy.
like we can like all
underworld,
chill
yeah.
in like a hot tub like
Yes,
establishment.
yes.
There's music playing. We get drinks.
Yes, yes.
That sounds fucking fun.
Dude, it's kind of dope. It's kind of dope. They got all these saunas. You do what you want. You can go lift weights. You get.
I don't do that. No.
You can. Oh no, you don't actually. Hey,
bro, you wanna go lift some weights?
Massages.
One drink.
You get massages. There's a
Yeah,
food court.
food.
You can eat sushi. You can eat all this. Dude, it's so great. And then there's another. Like you go back in the locker room, and then all of a sudden there's like a. Hey, let's all. Which. I was gonna,
Gets a little gay in there.
Yeah, dude, I was like, I'm good, dude. I'm good.
There's
I'm
way
gonna
more
go
dicks in here. I thought there
back-
was.
Yeah, I want to go back out here, but they exist, man. They're legal.
Sweet. Dude,
Trey, what you know about that?
Nothing.
you feeling good, Trey?
Yeah, I feel good.
All right.